The Jason Gregor Show.
Bobbled but caught by Stephen Dunbar on an Edmonton touchdown.
On Sports 1440.
0-1 in the air to deep left. Houston, you too have a problem. His name is the Big Amish.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Swing and drive. Deep to left. What a magical night for the Big Amish. Smooth as butter, baby.
The Big Amish, that is quite the nickname. I'll tell you that. Welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely, lovely day. If you don't know, the Big Amish is Nick Kurtz, the rookie who had the greatest single game in MLB history on Friday night. No player ever before had 6+ hits, 5+ extra base hits, 4+ home runs, and 8 RBIs in the same game. And his double was about 1.5 feet away from being another home run. Like, he was absolutely killing it on Friday night. It was one of the it's a game you've never seen. No one's ever done it before in the history of baseball, which has stats for every possible scenario. And that's one that no one had ever seen before. So I thought that was pretty good. Pretty damn good. Today we got lots to discuss. The Elks, not good. They made improvements in some areas and then took step back in other areas, notably on the offensive line, because that was a turnstile. And really, their first down production as a team was awful. Awful in that game. If you're always in second and long, you don't give yourself a chance. So the Oilers had 20 times they faced second down in the game. 15 of them were second and long. 2nd and 7 once, 2nd and 8 once, 2nd and 9 3 times, 2nd and 10 4 times, 2nd and 11 once, 2nd and 12 once, 2nd and 14 once, 2nd and 17 once, and 2nd and 20 twice. Think about that. 75% of the time, you're in second and long. You're not setting yourself up for success. Their first down execution, outside of one drive where they had back-to-back first downs, 3 in a row on first down, it was a real issue all game long. And I respect Cody Fajardo for trying to say afterwards, you know what, it was me. They don't really know what I like to do. They don't know where I scramble. And there's probably some truth to that. But if you go back and watch that game, the right side of their O-line got torched on many occasions where the quarterback had nothing to do with it. What the game in Saskatchewan showed me, it just reaffirmed what I'd said before. The Elks losing wasn't just on Trey Ford, because there was many people that, Trey Ford, he's the only guy who lost his starting job over this. No one on the defensive side of the ball did. No offensive lineman did. No receivers did. Just the quarterback. Like, it's wild when you think about it. But I have no problem. I said it before. If you're going to start Cody Fajardo, then you start him for a few weeks. You don't just go back and forth. So, to me, it's good news that their defense finally, held the opposition to under 30 points. So that's a positive. You got to find some positives. And that was one. They had some injuries in the secondary. They didn't get torched. Thought it was pretty good. The problem was they did give up. They had a stretch where they got outscored 20-0. And they're really that cost in the game. And that went for a long period of time. Like the third quarter, awful again. So to me, my concern is the Elks in the third quarter. Like the halftime adjustments, they have not been good. And that has been pretty much consistent all year. Outside of the third quarter defensively in Winnipeg, where they're very solid, it hasn't been a positive for this team. And now they got Hamilton, who comes in. They're playing very well. Bo Levi Mitchell is torching everybody. You look at this past weekend on the road in BC. Now, that was a great game, by the way. If you wanted to watch one game of the week in the CFL, that was a phenomenal game. Phenomenal. Back and forth. It had everything. It was a heck of a game. Loved it. But Hamilton will come in here, and the Elks D, they better be ready. And then their offense is going to have to do more. It's going to have to do more. You got to protect your quarterback a bit more. And you got to be able to run the ball. Like, my goodness, their run game was virtually non-existent. Every time that the Elks went to run the ball from a running back, they gained 5 yards. Justin Rankin had 3 carries. He totaled 0 yards. How's that possible? 0 yards on 3 carries. Javon Leake had 2 carries, 5 yards. Cody Fajardo ran 4 times. Like, they ran the ball 9 times. What the hell are you doing? Like, just because hey, Cody can pass the ball. So, yeah, he had okay passing numbers. But again, not great. Like, they put up some, 346 yards. Great. But they went a stretch. They had 4 points through the first 45 minutes. So don't tell me the offense was great. I'm sorry. It wasn't. It wasn't good at all. So they'll have to regroup, and they're going to have to be better. Now, I do love the fact that it's a 1 o'clock start time on Saturday. I'm a huge fan of that. Are you kidding me? It's unreal. At any age group, if you're older, you're like, oh, perfect. I'll be home. Don't have to stay up late. If you're young in your adult life, you're like, oh, this could be a Saturday fun day. And you got kids. You go there at 1. They can stay. It's great. I love the summertime matinee starts. Connor Halley joins us. Where's your thoughts on a 1 o'clock start on Saturday?
Oh, yeah, absolutely love it. I don't see how anyone can be opposed. I guess the only downside is it is a long weekend and maybe some people leave the city. But you know what? For those in town, K-Days is over. Taste of Edmonton will be done. Why not go watch some football, grab some mini donuts there? It's a great start time. And Gregor, just to add to your point about the game from Friday night, pretty tough for the offensive linemen when all you do is throw the football. I mean, the defense isn't even expecting you to run at that point. They're just pinning their ears back and getting after the quarterback. Like, no balance for your offense. 5 rushing attempts from your running backs, just not enough.
Yeah. No, not enough at all. So, we'll see what the Elks do. Also today, we'll continue around the NFL. We'll go to New England. Cody Fajardo, the quarterback of the Elks, will join us in the 4 o'clock hour. I think there was some positives about his play for sure. He was under pressure a ton. And, I respect it as a leader. You try to take some bullets. He knows that his O-line was going to get scrutinized, as they should. And I understand what he's doing. I don't necessarily believe it, but I understand why he's doing it. Also, Kevin Woodley will be by. We'll talk goaltending. He might agree or disagree with my take. I don't believe that goaltending is the most important position in hockey because I don't believe there is one. I don't think you can put it, say, oh, it's the most important position. I don't believe it. Because if it was the most important position, then goalies would be drafted on average way higher than they are all the time. But they're not. Because it's incredibly hard to determine who's going to be good or not. Second of all, a lot of it depends on your system in front of them. Don't have a good system, they can't bail you out all the time. It's just simple truth. Right? Simple truth. And we will, so we'll talk about that with Woodley. Also, we're going to talk, Satie Sigstad is an All-American at Villanova in cross-country track and field. She went to Scona High here in Edmonton. And we're going to talk about the running and just, the opportunities now that there are and kind of how you get to be a good runner. Most of us, you ran a little bit. Having watched having participated in it many years ago in the Journal Games, now watching it with my son, the one thing you can tell is you can see some people just their body knows how to run, and some people they just don't. I don't know why that is. It's a fascinating thing to me. But there are some people who simply do not have like a running gait. I go watch it. And you see, because it builds up. You have the first one is every school is there and everybody gets to compete. And then you have to have the best times. Then you move on to the semis and the finals. And when you get later on into the finals, well, there, everybody can run. But it's wild to me to just see how some people, their body just, it's like it's genetics. They don't really know how to move. Kind of unique. Now, I think because of our society being a lot more static than we have been in the past, for young kids who the screens can be mesmerizing. Heck, they can be mesmerizing for adults. It's even harder when you're younger. And more kids are sitting and not moving. You see it. Like, I have some kids who don't know how to squat. Like, literally, just walk in, okay, let's do a squat. A lot of kids don't know. Like, it's a basic, simple movement that you use. How to get out of the chair, right? Sit down, move up. Can you do it without your hands? So, but running to me is a fascinating opportunity. And we know, like, you get drafted into hockey and basketball and football and soccer, you sign everything. Well, how does it work for track? So we'll talk to Satie about that. Get your text, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Text us in our inbox. Also, it is trade deadline day coming up in the major leagues of baseball. The Toronto Blue Jays come into the final week before the trade deadline, and they have the most wins in baseball with 63. Now, the Cubbies and the Brewers and the Mets all have 62. The Jays are 63 and 43. And they've played incredibly well here for the last basically 2 months. Since May 27th until now, they got the best record in baseball. And they continue a pretty busy stretch. I think it's 13 consecutive days they're playing. They are in Baltimore tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Had another great week. You got the Yankees for 3, 2-1 against the Yanks. Then you had Detroit, who has hit the skids here a little bit, no question, but they're still a decent team, and the Jays went 3-1 against them. So you go 5-2 in a week, and it's an excellent week. And now this week, a little bit less hectic for the Blue Jays, which is good. No, they're not playing every day this week, so that's a benefit. And no offense, you got Baltimore, right? And then you got KC. So a much easier week scheduling wise, but you still got to play. Now, Baltimore has already traded one of the relievers. I think there'll be a few other guys leaving Baltimore between now and Thursday. The trade deadline comes down at 4:00 Edmonton time on Thursday. The Jays, I think at least 2 pitchers. In a perfect world, they get 3. So, perfect world, they get 3. So, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Got a lot of texts flying in. Guys, the OC's got to use the running backs in a more creative way. Well, every run seemed to be on the inside. I didn't see them really step, to the out. Like with Javon Leake, Rankin can be my power back. Javon Leake, man, I'd like to try to get him outside a little bit more if I can. But even you still need your O-line. That's their job. O-linemen will tell you they like to run block, right? They get to be more assertive. You're going up the field. And every time, you want to average your guys, 2.5 yards before contact on average, right? That can be really good. Like, it's not like and eventually they're going to break a tackle here or there. That's fine. But when Rankin and Leake rush the ball 5 times for 5 total yards, come on. And Rankin, he had 3 carries. His longest was 1. All right. 1 yard, lost 2 in the other one. Like, not good. So it was ugly to watch. Like, every time they handed the ball off, you're just like, it's going nowhere. Like, there wasn't ever a lane that you felt like, oh, the running back didn't hit it. He went the wrong way. No. And it's almost sometimes they do that delayed draw. I don't like that play on this team. It just doesn't ever seem to open up anything. So their passing was better. No question about it. But at the end of the day, they had 4 points through 45 minutes. Their offense, and it wasn't like they were turning the ball over. They just weren't generating anything because on first down, they got nothing done very often. Like, I don't know if they could eliminate one play from the playbook. Can it be throwing to the far side of the field for a 2-yard reception? You're throwing the ball 30 yards in the air to get 2 yards. Why? It hasn't worked all year. I know a lot of people were like, oh, see, it's all Trey Ford. He's not seeing the open guys. I'm like, they still called a lot of the same plays yesterday. I don't love that call, Connor. The into the flat far side of the field for 1 or 2 yards. Like, please eliminate.
Yeah, for sure. Throwing it to the fullback at times. I mean, if you're going to do those plays, maybe get it to one of the smaller, quicker receivers who might be able to do something yards after the catch. And, the running Gregor, it's gone back to the game against BC as well, where they each had 3 carries, talking Leak and Rankin. Like you need a little bit of balance. In the NFL, you see it all the time, and I know they have the extra down, so maybe you're just afforded that opportunity to continue the run, even if it's not working. But you got to keep those guys a little bit honest, at least to set up your play action passes at the very least, right? Have the defense think, okay, maybe they're going to run the football, and don't give up on it. A lot of running backs will tell you they get better as the game goes on because you start to get into the groove. You start to, get that momentum, bouncing it off your offensive lineman, seeing what they're giving you. Tough to get that going when you're only seeing 3 carries, 2 carries per game. A little more balance goes a long way, I think, for everybody. I think everybody on the offense would agree. Mixing a little more run in benefits you all, and they need to get that going.
Yeah, 100%. So we'll take a quick break. We got Woodley, lots of goaltending stuff to get to and more when we return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Rivalries run deep in Alberta football.
Edmonton all the way. Calgary rules.
But when it comes to the best snack for 3-down fun, there's no Battle of Alberta. It's a clear winner.
Wilhock beef jerky.
The one thing every Alberta fan agrees on. So whether you're watching the game from your recliner or in the stands, make it a part of your game day.
Wilhock beef jerky. Because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
It's the Bricks Price Meltdown. Score hot summer savings like up to 40% off mattresses and a 10% instant credit towards sleep accessories. Save up to $900 off sofas and sectionals and up to 25% off bedroom and dining packages. Plus, buy more, save more on select major kitchen appliances, up to $500 off. Even more, find hot prices on Canadian-made pieces and get up to 15% off patio furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
At On the Rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tune.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Chat West Ave and 118th.
Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle. Promo load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquessential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Whoop, there it is. 4 days of basketball at its best. Hoop City 2025, North America's largest FIBA 3x3 showcase. The top 4 Olympic teams on both men's and women's categories, featuring Canada's women's Olympic team, with Edmonton's own Michelle and Catherine Blue. More than just hoops, there's entertainment, long-distance shootout, Grand Slam showcase, plus interactive games and prizes for everyone. Hoop City 3x3 Basketball Festival, this Thursday through Sunday. Ice Palace and West Edmonton Mall. Admission is free, so bring the whole family.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$220. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely, lovely Monday. Your thoughts? We got some text from Jays fans. Feel free. Elks fans. Many of you fired up, as you should be. I like it, as you should be. The Elks say you got to get a win here at some point. There were some areas of their game that were better, but I thought special teams, which had been a pretty good strength. It was horrific. Way too many penalties on special teams on Friday night. Like when you have a contact in the kicker penalty and somehow you don't get the first down, you actually have to, you take so many penalties that now you get worse. Like it's ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry. Like, the flag's there. There's no reason to take that penalty on that play. And that just to me was a microcosm of their lack of discipline in that game. So for the Elks, and unfortunately, when you're a team that's trying to learn how to win, you find new areas that cost yourself, right? That cost yourself. So just we'll see where it goes for the Elks. But the good news is it really seemingly could only go up from here. We'll see where it goes. Let's go around the NHL. Brought to you by McDonald's, where you can stop in at McD's right now because you can try feel free like you're traveling the world, as they got the menu heist happening. Germany's Big Roasty. You have Belgium's Biscoff, McFlurry, Italy's McPizza Bites, and Japan's Teriyaki Chicken. All right now, only at McDonald's, as Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine and NHL.com joins us once again. Woodley, how you doing, Matt?
I might be a little out of breath, Jason. I apologize for the background noise. That's a Zamboni going by. I literally just stepped off the ice from an hour-and-a-half skate. So out here testing new equipment, testing new gear. And I got to say, I got a set of pads on right now, and bear with me here, but from Warrior, that on the inside of the knee, so that's sort of where goalies land, we call it the landing gear, it's got a hard plastic cover. And so you can imagine we talk about goalies and new materials and experimenting with things that help you move better on your knees and slide better on your knees. This is unbelievable. I know there are some goalies in Europe that have used it, that are using it because they feel like it's not about just the speed. It's about adding years to the career because they only have to push it like 60% to get the same distance in the same amount of time. I don't think this is going to be legal in the NHL. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure Kay Whitmore's already said no. But man, the goals keep going up. I think we should be allowed to get really crazy with the gear because these things are. This was my first time on them, and I had some fun out there, my friend.
Well, yeah. Well, gear definitely helped. The advancement in gear, Kev, is something that I don't think gets talked about enough because it's way lighter, allows goalies to move in ways that other goalies just couldn't. And not to mention the whole change of the position in the philosophy of going to butterfly. It's more efficient. It's more effective. Now, it still has warts because now shooters are like, hey, we know guys are going down early. So if you raise the puck, your odds of scoring increase when they go down in the butterfly. It's just how it works. And I understand playing all the odds. But is there something you think like where the goaltending equipment has made it easier to be a goalie?
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of things. So like we've talked about how Skinner chose a pad that has a material in the face that is like, it's like golf club face technology. Like they're measuring coefficient of restitution. In other words, how much energy is lost on the face and how much is transferred, sort of the spring-like effect. You hear that in the PGA Tour. Well, we've got that in goalie pads. So for goalies that want active rebounds, and there's a number of times in the playoffs where pucks would get thrown from the point into the net along the ice, and it would go off Skinner's pad, and there'd be guys piled up around the crease, and the puck ends up on the wall or up high in the zone because it's just ricocheting off there so quickly. So that's one quick example. Obviously I talked about these Warrior pads and the hard plastic sliding material, and that's not going to be legal. But as companies have improved the material on the inside edge of the pads and made it easier to move from your knees, the irony is the game has been about beating plays on your skates for goaltenders. Like that's where we're headed. It's about spending less time on your knees. It's about being able to move east-west and not have to get to your knees or to stay on your edges as often and as long as you can in a sequence. But what people miss is improved sliding materials, the ability to move fast east-west on these materials. They allow you to be more patient on your skates because you can get there if you do have to drop, if you do have to slide. So you can hold those edges. You can hold on that shooter, keep the shoulders high, keep the hands up, don't commit early. And so there's one where you can sort of flip it on its ear and look at it from a different perspective. Like for me today, and God, by no means am I comparing this to what an NHL goalie goes through, but these things were so fast that I was like, okay, I got to get used to this. Like literally I could push and be in the corner if I pushed at my regular speed. So the mindset was just be patient. Just be patient because you have all this extra time. When you slide, you're going to go so fast. You don't have to commit early if a guy goes east-west on you. And I just found it allowed me to play the game on my skates so much more than I normally would. And so I think you can sort of see that mindset that goalies are trying to adopt and adapt to would be easier if they trust that they can go east-west on their knees faster when they do have to commit.
Okay. Looking at a few things. Now we get into to late July. And I know we've talked on the show before how, guys are, lots of goalies are working out. Not Bob, but Stu Skinner is in Kelowna. He's working with Francilli. We had Peter Aubry on the show, the goalie coach, talking about kind of some of his philosophies on what he's going to do. And, number one is you kind of got to get to know the goalie and stuff. You've the last few years, Kev, have had a guy that you felt like, hey, this is a goalie that I think is ready to take a step. Have you dug into that yet? Is there a goalie or two that you are quite high on this coming season?
Well, the cheat would be to say Jack Creeves, but I've said him before. The problem was he didn't get an opportunity till the very end of the season. And the problem now is he was so good in Columbus at the end of the season that the bar is almost unrealistically high. So picking him to break out feels like feels like everybody else has seen it too. But what I like about him is even before this season, every time he got called up to the NHL, even when the raw numbers didn't look good, the adjusted numbers, in other words, how he performed relative to the environment in Columbus, was always exceptional. And to the point where I was saying during the season, like, when Elvis Merzlikins, they had their second child, and we've talked about that in the past too, right? Like it's a big life change, and it seemed like his game slipped a little. I wish they'd gotten Greaves up sooner. They might have made the playoffs if they did, because you saw what he could do. So he's an easy pick, not just because of the late season breakout he already had, but because the numbers leading up to that point, were such that I was already saying he should be in the National Hockey League. If you want one out of left field for bounce backs as opposed to breakouts, can I interest you in a Philip Grubauer? And I know everybody listening right now is probably rolling their eyes. But if you take a look at how he performed, as bad as it was at the beginning of the season, and I think there were some mindset things that maybe were on him. As I understand it, nobody bothered to go to him and tell him that Joey Daccord had signed a contract that essentially made him the number one goaltender or put him in that tier that he found out when the media went and asked him. And that's a mistake. You've got to keep that communication open. And whether he handled it the right way or not, or the lack of playing time early on while Joey was on a roll, whether he handled that well or not, I don't know where the blame lies. At the end of the day, though, after he went to the American Hockey League, something clicked there working with Colin Zulianello. I know he talked about how much how much he enjoyed that experience. Now Zulianello is the goalie coach in Seattle. They seem to have a really great relationship. And after coming back from that stint in the American Hockey League, again, a lot of it's hidden behind a bad team. So Joe Public can't see it. But the adjusted numbers were really, really promising. And I could see Philip Grubauer, if he's put the work in this summer, having a nice bounce back. Now, again, Seattle's going in with him at 5'9" and Joey at $5 million, like kind of the expensive tandem way, kind of like Vancouver with 9.5 tied up in goaltending between their two guys. But I do think it would have been interesting if they'd been willing to move him and eating half for a team looking, I think I would have been interested just based on that bounce back. And I could see him carrying that over and being a really interesting guy around the trade deadline. Is he like Philip's never been a stand on his head, steal games, although I covered that series against Colorado. When the one year that Seattle made the playoffs, I covered both their rounds, and he was really good, and so if you give him a somewhat predictable environment, he's just a really sound positional goaltender, and he's got another layer. When he's on, he's got another layer of sort of, dynamic elements that he can bring to the game. So, yeah, we'll see. That one's pretty bold because I know it hasn't gone well the past couple of years and not up to the contract, not up to the standards he sets. But I saw something click there, and I wouldn't be surprised if he carries it over into next season, which would make him a really, really interesting candidate to see if other teams, started to have interest.
Kevin Woodley joins us. Now, Kevin, where would you rank Stuart Skinner as a guy who have a bounce back year? Is that outlandish of me?
I guess it would depend on how you're defining it. Right? Like, I don't have his numbers in front of me. Like I said, I just got off the ice.
Well, he had an 896, a 281. His expected save percentage wasn't.
He was below expected.
Yeah.
I think like points. So if a bounce
he was just
back
below.
If a bounce back is above, like closer to what he did 2 years ago, like we know he's capable of it. I think there were lessons learned last year about time taken off. Maybe a little too long before he got back on the ice and not really finding his game, especially at a time when he was trying to make some changes. And so, new voice. And again, I've been on the record the whole time talking about how good I believe Dustin Schwartz is as a goalie coach, and how much this isn't about him. But sometimes, much like I just talked about with Grubauer, sometimes it's just a new voice. They can be the same concepts or similar concepts, just with different language or in a different voice. In Kelowna early. I don't think he's there yet, but I think he heads there soon. I think for 5 or 6 weeks. He seems to be, we've talked about his growth mindset, seems to be focused not so much on his rest. He's had his rest. Now he seems to be focused on building. So yeah, absolutely. Are we talking Vezina Trophy at the end of the year? There's a next stratosphere that he's not in yet. But if we're talking bounce back from last year and closer to what he was 2 years ago, maybe a little better, absolutely that's in the cards. But again, this is where it will get interesting. That team defended so well 2 years ago, tip to tail, or at least after the coaching change. That defensive identity slipped a little bit. Defense is hard work. It's a 5-man unit. It's not just about individuals. And it's about the top guys setting sort of the standard. It slipped in the regular season, and then it picked right back up where it left off when they got to playoffs. Third time through, to get their attention after 2 straight trips to the Cup final, and to have that identity and to have that work rate baked in defensively from the start of the season, that's not easy. That's a big ask. That's a tough thing to do. A lot of teams struggle with it. And the hard part for Stu is if that happens, that's the environment he's got to try and build confidence behind. So I would put that asterisk there. I'm willing to bet that he bounces back on the adjusted numbers. My question will be whether they can maintain the identity that allows everyone else to see it when it comes to taking care of their own end.
Well, I thought you said Edmonton's a pretty favorable situation defensively, right? So you're saying they'd have to
I'm saying it's really hard to continue that for 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like it was better. Like it was still pretty good last year. It was really good in the playoffs. But last year was a step back from 2 years ago. And so continuing to get that work rate and that attention, because defense is attention to detail as a 5-man unit, being on the same page and working. And to get that effort, especially after as much hockey as they played for 3 straight years, can be a little difficult. And so that's the caveat. Not that they weren't last year, it slipped a little, but can they keep it up for 3 straight years?
I don't know. We'll see. I think you've got all the pieces, so you would argue why wouldn't they be able to be a decent, competent, above average defensive team, right? Like I think the big reason it helps Edmonton be good defensively, Kevin, is because they don't have to play defense a ton because they have such a good offense.
Yeah, no, absolutely fair. It's just we've seen it with other teams. That identity and that work rate can be really hard to keep baked in year after year after year, especially now. Not winning may be enough to do it. Changes with the assistant coaches may be enough to sort of keep, but it can be really hard to keep asking guys to go to the wall, especially after last year where it slipped a little and then they turned it right back on in playoffs. You can fall into that trap of being like, hey, we'll just flip the switch when it matters. And that's a tough way for your goaltender to build confidence. Again, this is, like I said, this is just me looking at it and seeing other teams that have struggled to do it for 3 years in a row and at least asking the question, can they? I'm not saying they can't. Like you said, the personnel is there. It's the same head coach. It just, from a coaching perspective, it can be hard to get that same level of buy-in, especially when you've been to 2 straight cup finals for that 3rd straight year.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Now, are there any young goalies, Kev, that fans should be aware of on teams that you're a fan of? Now, I don't even know if DiPietro falls into that category. I know you've mentioned it before. You like him. We'll see what Boston does with him, with Korpisalo. Would they potentially expose Korpisalo? We'll see. I don't know if they're going to carry 3 goalies. We'll wait and see. But are there young guys, excluding Dostal? I think everybody knows Dostal's pretty good.
Well, I mean, the one that's obvious, and again, this is cheating, but I mean, you got to do it again, and that's Dustin Wolf. He was exceptional last year and, still 24 years old, still just going into his 2nd year as a starter in the National Hockey League, a team that, whether they can maintain what they did last year or not, we'll wait and see, but he's going to be a big part of it. So he would be at the top of that list. I did sort of a top 10 under 25 list for NHL.com a couple of weeks ago for their Young Stars week. And I have to add the caveat because I missed him. Joel Hofer wasn't on there. That's because he turns 26 before the season starts. And that was the outline I was given, even if it didn't make it into the intro.
Okay.
But Wolf would be at the top of that list. People are, you want to know who's only 24 this year? Spencer Knight's only 24 this year. Feels like he's been in the league forever. So I don't know if you count those guys sort of in that 24 range. I'm looking at Ottawa would be one. Levi Merilainen posted some exceptional numbers as a 22-year-old.
Yeah.
He's 23 by the time the season starts. I heard some people say after Anton Forsberg came back and Linus Ullmark was healthy that their best goalie was in the minors in Merilainen. Like, he was that good. I wouldn't agree with that. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Linus Ullmark, but he's going to push. And it looks like they're going to give him the opportunity when they let Forsberg go to be the guy in the NHL. And, given games played needs to be kept in check for Linus. He's a guy, like if you're like a fantasy hockey person, looking for, in one of those leagues where a backup playing once a week can get you some wins. He's a guy that might post some numbers for the Ottawa Senators because I really liked what I saw from him last year. We already mentioned Greaves. I think he's only 24 this year. Does Askarov get a chance in San Jose? They're still, when you talk to goalie evaluators around the league, there are some that have him top 5 slam dunk every list. And there are others that aren't as sure he's in the top 5, that he's a little bit outside of it. So that's one I'm hoping I get a chance to see more of this year because you get real mixed opinions when it comes to evaluating his game. I love the personality. I love the flamboyance. I think we need more of that in our position and in the league. So I hope he has success and gets a chance to stick.
Yeah, there is, you mentioned Forsberg and he left. When you've seen now all the changes of the goalies, Kev, around this summer, and there wasn't a ton, but there's always a few. When you look at systems of how a team plays and then how a goalie plays, is there one where you're like, oh, I really like that fit?
I like Forsberg. It's less, listen, we talked in the past, like Darcy Kemper, about how good he was this year. Probably better than people realize. actually led the league in goals saved above expected by clear sight numbers, because LA still had the defensive identity, but for portions of the season, it was nowhere near what it was in years past. Like, that really was a lot of good goaltending by Darcy Kemper. But at the same time, there is still a pretty high baseline defensively with the Kings, a predictability to the system. I equate it to the Bruins when Patrice Bergeron was there. So long as Andrei Kopitar is your captain and he's part of your center mix and he drives the identity of that team, taking care of your own end is going to be baked in. Right. And so Forsberg, I like him because, hey, that's a good environment, but his numbers, I'm trying to remember where it sort of took off. Let's say second half of the season. I apologize. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I can't remember whether it was December or January where it took off, but don't forget he had that really bad, I think he blew out both knees. Player landed on him. Might have been MCL and ACL.
Yep.
It was halfway through the season where it just looked like all of a sudden he got comfortable with his body again. And again, much like Philip Grubauer, his numbers down the stretch, they raised my eyebrows when I was sort of breaking it down by first half and second half. And he had a really good stretch run for Ottawa. And if he can continue that in a better defensive environment in LA than he had in Ottawa, he could be a guy, because Darcy likes to play a lot, but he's getting up there. He could be a guy that, gets 30 starts and posts some really good numbers.
So Grubauer's second half you like. So, Kev, you've been pretty bang on the last years with guys. So for anybody out there who's in fantasy leagues, maybe think Grubauer and potentially Forsberg as some guys to, because Grubauer is definitely not a goalie, I think, that's going to get drafted early in any draft by any stretch of the imagination. So could be a really good later round pick in a guy. Yeah,
I'm going. I know with that one, I knew I was going way out on a limb, but between the conversations I've seen, I do think he's going to have a bounce back. Now, Joey Decord's a hell of a goalie. Mm-hmm. Problem is they've overplayed him, and then he's run out of a bit of steam. The numbers have dropped. Part of that's the team once they're out of it fading a bit. But I think you'll see them, not a tandem, but I think they'll give Grubauer a chance to get back in that mix more often early next season. And like I said, if he picks up where he left off, he might earn more starts as he goes.
Awesome stuff, Kev. We'll get some rest, enjoy the hot tub, and we will chat with you next week.
You know me well, my friend. Straight to the hot tub after hockey. Have a good one.
There you go. That's Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine and NHL.com. When we return, man, it's so different. For the longest time, when you talked about this team, you were like, okay, real competitor. And now it's like the only thing they're competing for usually is can they avoid the basement? Will this year be any different? Can they get back to respectability? We'll find out next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada with sports and entertainment properties, including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League's Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
The Discover Days sales event has been extended at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $7,500. Final month extended. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $4,000. Save up to $7,500 on a 2025 demo XC40. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
McDonald's sundaes and snack size shakes are $2 or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here.
My phone.
I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Mr. Rooter rides in a hot air balloon.
Oh, wow. You can really see it all from up here. The river crossing the city like a water line, the Walterdale like PVC pipes, and the cars circling the Anthony Henday like waste swirling a toilet bowl. Which reminds me, which way to the bathroom?
There's no toilet in a hot air balloon.
Well, I will have to remedy that.
For a plumber who soars above the others, trust Mr. Rooter.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe that life shouldn't hurt. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know that sometimes it really hurts. I mean, we've seen people at their worst moments in life, when they feel they have nowhere to turn, or at a time when they felt like their problem just wouldn't ever go away. We've also seen people who thought to themselves, it'll just go away on its own, or this is no big deal. I don't want to bother anyone about this. Don't know where to turn to, or think it's no big deal. Either way, we have the technology, techniques, and skills to help you get back to it, whatever your it may be. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
'47. Welcome back. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks so much for listening, as it's time now to get to our NFL report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer long at legacyheating.ca. And we continue our NFL preview. We're going to stop in New England, as Christopher Price from the Boston Globe, beat reporter for the Pats, joins us. Chris, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. It's interesting. Anytime I still think of the Patriots, I just think of a juggernaut, because for like decades they were the team to beat in the NFL. And obviously, like in a lot of other sports, eventually there's a retooling time. The coach leaves, the Hall of Fame quarterback leaves, and Patriots really haven't been the same since. When you look at this year's team, what do you think is a realistic record for them?
I think if everything goes well, and that's to say if Drake May plays the way that I think a lot of people inside Gillette Stadium thinks he's capable of playing, or think he's capable of playing, Christian Gonzalez, Christian Barmore, Stephon Diggs, if all those guys hit their ceiling, I think 8 or 9 wins is a realistic total for this team. They've shown an awful lot of feistiness over the first week or so here at camp. I think that there's some real talent on this roster, but I think the ceiling for this team is 8 or 9 wins, and maybe the floor, if things kind of start to go bad, because there's really no margin for error with this roster. You're probably looking at a 5 to 6 win season, but I think somewhere in that range, I think is reasonable to expect, especially after what the Patriots have gone through the last couple of years.
Yeah. How, are Pats fans, are they okay with that? Like, you get spoiled a little bit when you're as dominant as they were for decades. Do you find, is Pats Nation still okay with being bad, or are they getting pretty lacking in patience?
I think it depends on where the wins come this year. And I'll say that. I think if, let's say they finish the year winning like 4 out of 7, something like that, and they get to like 7 wins, and then, they knock the Dolphins out of the playoffs, I think that Patriots fans would be okay with that. I think that really in the end, they're just looking for a team to improve over the course of the year and be a kind of a, pain in the butt to play against come November and December. So, I think there's the understanding that this is going to take time to kind of turn around. I mean, there was only one team that's won fewer games over the last 2 years than the New England Patriots. That's the Carolina Panthers. So I think there is a level of patience, especially with the guy that they have in charge now, and Mike Vrabel, that this is going to take a little while for them to get back to where they need to be. It's going to depend on a lot of things, like I said before, but it's going to take another year or two, probably two, to really get them to where they need to be.
And you look at it a lot of times in football to have success. If you got a great quarterback, you're going to need a pretty good offensive line. And so this year at the draft, they got Will Campbell, the left tackle out of LSU. And, I see him number one on the depth chart on the left side. How much of a steadying force do you think he's going to be? I know it's only been a few days in camp, but does this guy look like the real deal?
I think today in run blocking, he looked excellent. I think in one-on-one situations, in pass blocking today, specific to today, he struggled a little bit. Okay. Keon White, a defensive end, kind of really just picked him up and, moved him backwards. So I think he's still a mixed bag. I will say this, talking to a lot of the veteran defensive linemen on this team, they all seem to agree that while he had a bit of an uneven start in the spring, that this is the kind of young man who is interested in getting better moving forward. And so, he's staying after. He's watching a lot of film. He's talking to, other offensive linemen, other defensive linemen, working on ways to get better. So he's going to be one of those guys, one of those blue chip players who's going to have to play, maybe exceed expectations this year, even though he was the 4th overall pick. But yeah, this offensive line was a mess last season. And I still have a lot of questions about the offensive line and whether or not they'll be able to hold up over the course of a 17-game season to create a sustainable production plan for Drake May. The goals for this offensive line are very, very modest in nature. It's to really just kind of create some sturdiness, some dependability. They've had 5 offensive line coaches in the last 5 years, so that hasn't helped either. They just want to kind of, create a level of calmness there and hope that things can kind of start to fall into place moving forward. They do have a couple of decent pieces, but it's kind of building on those guys in creating, like I said, a sustainable plan moving forward.
Well, 5, I didn't know that they had 5 different O-line. Because I know some people say, well, you know what, there's only certain things you can do in offensive line, but you're never getting to know your players. That's half the part of coaching, is really understanding them. And then it's, new guy comes in and now he has a different viewpoint, or, maybe some different terminology on things. And it's always a rotation. Their second pick was Trayvon Henderson, the young running back. And, they got Ramondre Stevenson. How do you think, is that going to be split duties? Do you think Henderson can push him? Will he eventually be the starter? What are you thinking about the running back position?
I think we're starting with a situation here in New England where Ramondre Stevenson is going to be the number 1 back out of the gate. Right now, what we've seen is Henderson split carries with Antonio Gibson in kind of a modified third down back role.
Okay.
That's something that Josh McDaniels, who returned as the offensive coordinator, has been very, very big on over the course of his coaching career. And he had a lot of success with guys like that in New England in the past, guys like Kevin Falk and Shane Vereen and Danny Woodhead. Those guys were staples of the Patriots offense. So I don't think that Henderson is going to take carries away from Ramondre Stevenson. I do think that he and Gibson, at least at the start, are going to share third down responsibilities. And so I could see Henderson having a large role as the season goes on. But I really think that's where the positional battle lies if you're talking about the backfield. Not so much with Stevenson, but when it comes to the third down back role.
Christopher Price joins us talking New England Patriots. There's a lot of people that were like, I wonder why he did it. Stephon Diggs signing with the Patriots, and obviously he's going to be their number 1 receiver. That's pretty obvious. And so, you got a young quarterback in Drake May, and quarterbacks, only as good as offensive line, and you need guys who can create separation. You can be the best quarterback ever, but if your receivers can't create separation, it's hard to get him the ball. I know Diggs is a little nicked up already, but you look at him and just the overall receiving core. Do they have enough weapons?
Yeah, I think I'll say this. I don't think they have enough weapons to be a playoff team, but I certainly think they have enough weapons. And we talked about the running game. You mix the wide receiver core in there. I do think that they have enough to be more competitive than they've been the last couple of years. Diggs comes in, like you said, he's obviously the number 1 guy, but they have a lot of guys who are really intriguing puzzle pieces. Pop Douglas caught 66 passes last year as the slot receiver. Slot receivers have traditionally thrived under Josh McDaniels. I can see him having a larger role going into 2025 than he had the last couple of years. Kyle Williams, a 4th round pick. has been very, very impressive over the course of camp. And then Mac Hollins, he was signed away from Buffalo as well. And so, you do have a decent foundation there. I think the really interesting thing is going to come at the back end of that wide receiver depth chart, because you have Jalen Polk, who was a 2nd-round pick last year out of Washington. You have Javon Baker, who was a 4th-round pick out of Central Florida. You have Kendrick Bourne, who's been around now a couple of years. And you have a young man who is a UDFA Efton Chisholm out of Washington, Eastern Washington, the same school, I think Eastern Washington, who is really kind of pushing the rest of the group here in training camp. So you traditionally only take 4 wide receivers. And so you have Diggs, Pop Douglas, Hollins, and Kyle Williams. It's going to leave some very interesting names maybe out in the cold. So that's really, for me, when you talk about the Patriots wide receiving core, that's where the real questions start, the back end of that depth chart.
Okay. Looking at the rest of the at the Patriots, all their top 3 picks were on the offensive side of the ball. So then you move over to the defensive side. Where's their strength, number 1, and number 2, where's the concern?
I think the strength is the front 7, specifically Milton Williams, Christian Barmore, and Keon White. That's a group that, if they stay healthy, it has the potential to be absolutely devastating. I really do. The question there is Barmore, who was sidelined for a sizable chunk of the year last year with blood clot issues, is still a question mark as to whether or not he's going to be able to play 17 games. Then Milton Williams was tremendous in the Super Bowl for the Philadelphia Eagles, but he's never played more than 50%, 50-something percent snaps over the course of his career. So if he can take on more work, if Christian Barmore can stay healthy, and Keon White can do what they think he's capable of doing over a 17-game season, that group is going to be very, very good. The questions for me are the depth at cornerback. And Christian Gonzalez went down today. Christian Gonzalez has done very, very well over the first couple of years in the league. He went down today. We still don't know what the issue was. It didn't look serious. I'll say that. He limped off, but it didn't look serious. Behind that, they have Carlton Davis and not much else at the cornerback position. So in a pass-first league, you need as many cornerbacks as you have out there. And while they have Christian Gonzalez and Marcus Jones, has been a good slot corner over the course of his career, and Carlton Davis has had some success over the course of his career as well. He's won a Super Bowl in Tampa. I think it's good, but I think in this era where teams are looking to attack those secondaries, where there are question marks, I think for me that's really where the issues could start to kind of manifest themselves. So, and then there's also too, I think there's some depth issues at the linebacker position, but that's not as big. But I think the defensive front can be very good. The cornerback spot, the depth there, I think, is a question mark for me moving forward.
So, if you were, for anybody out there who plays fantasy, who would you say is Hunter Henry a guy even to consider at the tight end position? Is Diggs the obvious guy, or do you see one who says, just from a purely fantasy standpoint, who is the most appealing Patriot to take?
This gives me an excellent excuse to mention the story that I have going up shortly on BostonGlobe.com about Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry is the closest thing to a sure thing the Patriots have had on offense the last couple of years. Look, offensively, it's been a mixed bag at best, but you can pretty much mark down Hunter Henry for 50-something catches and 600 yards and like 5 touchdowns. I know those aren't overwhelming Rob Gronkowski type of numbers, but if you're looking for a sure thing, I really like him. Kind of home runs, big swings. I think Diggs is going to get close to the 1,000 yards, if not surpass the 1,000-yard barrier that he's hit on an annual basis over the course of his career. And then I'd also, Trevion Henderson, those numbers have been good, and I think he'll be able to build on those as well. But if you want a sure thing, rock solid guy, Hunter Henry at tight end is the best call because, like I said, he's been the most reliable part of a pretty bad offense, a pretty bad passing game over the last couple of years. And I see no reason to think why he won't continue to at least put up good numbers going into 2025.
Awesome stuff, Christopher. I look forward to reading that coming up at BostonGlobe.com. Thanks so much for this. Enjoy the rest of the preseason.
Yes, thank you, guys. Take care. We'll talk soon.
There you go. That's Christopher Price joining us from Boston. So there you have it, fantasy players. You're thinking of Patriot. Hunter Henry, H². We shall see. When we return, we got a special guest joining us in studio. All-American cross and country track and field specialist, will join us to talk about just how does your career go in that realm. It's not one. It's something all of us do. Just most of us don't do it well. It's called running, but we'll talk about it next after Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by 01 Hockeyology. Build your summer, your game all summer long with custom training and cutting edge technical work. Become unstoppable. You can sign up 1 month. Get you, it's $300 membership and you get up to 18 skates, off-ice training. It's phenomenal. Check it out, 01.ca, ZERONE.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Busy day in the majors. Jays kicking off a series with the Orioles. First pitch set for 4:35. You also have the Rockies and Guardians. Reds host the Dodgers. Braves in Kansas City. Cubbies taking on the Brewers. Astros host the Nationals. Mets travel to San Diego. And the Mariners in Sacramento for a series with the Athletics. 2 games in the WNBA tonight. The Sun taking on the Storm at 5. Then at 6 o'clock, Liberty head to Arlington for a meeting with the Wings. Canada's Summer McIntosh has won her second gold medal at the World Swimming Championships, taking the women's 200-meter individual medley. The 18-year-old finished in 2 minutes, 6 seconds, nearly 2 seconds ahead of American Alex Walsh, who claimed silver, fellow Canadian Mary-Sophie Harvey winning the bronze. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Satie Sigstad from Villanova Track and Field. Also, another edition of Cam Tate's 2-Minute Warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
When you look at a pipe, we just see a pipe. But at GS Construction, we know it's not just a pipe. It's the future water flowing to a growing family's home, or the sewer line for a new school. At GS Construction, we know every trench we dig connects people to what matters. And if you'd like to be part of that vision of making a better future, we're hiring. Right now, GS Construction is looking for experienced foremen to join our team. So apply today at gsconstruction.ca. GS Construction, underground with purpose.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey.
The nickname, I'll tell you that.
Best, there's only one name.
Welcome,
Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles.
Rivalry run deep.
One fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr.
Back,
Dirk,
Jason Gregor.
elevate your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Jason Gregor Show.
City 3x3 Festival takes over the Ice Palace at West Edmonton Mall from July
ZER.
31st to August 3rd. See professionals and Olympians battle for ranking points and cash prizes in 3 different FIBA 3x3 events. Free admission. Details at sports1440.ca.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. TNA Wrestling makes its explosive debut at the Expo Center on Friday, September 26th and Saturday, September 27th for back-to-back nights. Buy your tickets online today. Learn more about what's happening at the Expo Center by visiting the calendar of events online at edmontonexpocenter.com today.
If you're looking for the ultimate off-road adventure, you'll find it in a Jeep Wrangler. And if you're looking for the ultimate financing deal on a Wrangler, you'll find it at St. Albert Dodge. Right now, St. Albert Dodge is offering 0% financing for up to 72 months OAC on their full selection of 2025 Jeep Wranglers. And it's a great selection. Sport, Willys, Sahara, and Rubicon, plus all the new colors, all on the lot ready to go at 0%. Come see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair, they'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock, lovely Monday afternoon. Hope you had a good weekend. Some of you are enjoying summer holidays, so whatever you do, have fun. It's the Gregor Show, as always, presented by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game, use the promo code Gregor50, and you get a free $50 play when you sign up. Or even if you're a repeat user, you get a new one every month. So check it out at PlayAlberta.ca. And remember, tomorrow, $40 million up for grabs in Lotto Max. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. And today, very special guest joining us in studio, a graduate of Strathcona High School who now stars at Villanova in women's cross country, a two-time All-American in cross country. As we are joined in studio by Satie Sigstad. Satie, how you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I'm happy to have you in here. So we might have to get you to run laps around West Edmonton Mall just to see how quick it is. So I'm always interested in lots of different sports. And so let's kind of start about the running background. You mentioned your older sister's 3 years older, and she ran, and, you know, like a lot of siblings are like, oh, well, she's doing it, I'm going to do it. So you kind of were a competitive runner, really, or liked it since the age of 8?
Yeah, pretty young. I went to Windsor Park, so I got going there. I don't think I would have ever started the sport if it hadn't been for my sister. But I feel like at that age, it's common that you just do whatever your older sibling does.
Yeah. No, that's fair. So when did you because I want to get into, we know how to run, but then there's knowing how to run efficiently, right? It's very two different things. But so when did running become kind of like serious for you? Was it junior high or right away or what?
I would say I'm always been a pretty focused person, but I would say not till about like grade 8 or grade 9, like rearing the end of middle school. And then high school, I started to take it really seriously. But I don't think I realized, the commitment and the hours involved that it took to really be at that top level till I got to college. So it's kind of been a gradual transition over the years.
So when you went to Scona, which has a reputation of being a pretty good track. So you chose that school on purpose just for the track, or were you going there anyway?
No, I think it's close to home. So
Okay.
I like that I could just, walk up there. It's like 10 minutes. I live in the U of A area. So that was a huge and good academics. At the time, I actually didn't really think I was like wanting to pursue running track in the States. But I thought Strathcona was good for a number of reasons. So yeah.
So in high school, like what was were you 100 meter, 200, 800? Were you always more of a long distance runner?
I was more like 1500, was like 15, 3K, shorter distances. They don't quite get us to run like super long stuff. But if someone had told me in high school that I was going to run the 10K in college, I would have been like, no way, I'm doing that. Sounds terrible. It's so long. But I'm glad I went for it. So.
Yeah, because you run now basically 5Ks and 10Ks.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's
yeah.
great. So if you had to run 100 meters, could you sprint?
Yeah, I think I could. I could get it done. It would hurt a little bit, but I think I could get it done.
So because when you're a runner at 5K and 10K, and now you're at a pretty high level, right? Like you're an All-American at Villanova. Like, you know what? I think you were like in the top 15 in the country. Like you can run. So is it just you focus on everything that's 5 and 10K related, and like shorter distances really don't help you?
I do like a little bit of, we do still like 1 day speed work in there. Keep that. That's a really important component in the summer too, like hills, stuff to generate power. And then strength is like a huge component, I think, more and more with running they're finding. So that plays a role. A lot of the stuff outside of running, like lifting, ladder speed work. Yeah.
Okay. What about stairs? Does stairs help a runner, or do you just avoid stairs?
I think they can get you fit fast. I don't think they would be my go-to move, but yeah, if I was like limited resources, I might if you couldn't do a hill, they're a good backup.
Okay, but you're not like, there's other options for Satie rather than stairs.
There's things I'd choose first. Would be my first pick.
Okay. What about like, what exercises, like when you do training, are you doing lots of one-legged stuff? Is it, Bulgarian, deadlifts? Are you doing split squats? Like what helps a 5 and 10K runner?
I would say lots of squats. Yeah. Deadlifts. Upper body's still important. You wouldn't think, but keeping like your back strong, all that plays a huge role in people's form. I think if you want to improve your form and efficiency, like weight training is the easiest and like quickest way to do it. And it's huge for limiting injuries. That's one of the main reasons I got more into it. Yeah.
Weight training reduces your injuries.
Yeah.
Just because your muscles are stronger. Are they longer? How does that work?
More muscle mass to protect. It's a lot of pounding on your bones. So reducing the impact, and then like all your soft tissues. Just great with flexibility, balance. There's a lot of things that play a good role. Yeah.
Okay. So looking at, because there's more opportunities all the time now for athletes. Obviously, there's hockey and everything, but there's a lot of people who run. And I think a lot of people just don't know what the options are, right? So when you got into high school, was it one of your coaches at Scone was like, hey, Satie, you're actually pretty good at this? Or did the school start calling you? Like, how did that possibility of going to the US, when did that kick in?
Yeah, I was doing the whole US recruitment process during COVID, which had its highs and lows because I didn't get to go down and visit any of the schools, but I actually ran with the Edmonton Harriers. It's a club here. It was amazing, like all throughout middle school and high school. And I kind of went through that process with my coach in my club, and then it was a lot with like my parents and family. But it was tough navigating it because no one in my club around me was kind of looking at options in the States. They're mainly pursuing like Canadian schools. And I did definitely consider a lot of great Canadian schools, but I think I wanted like the depth and the competition the US brings, and the opportunity to get a free education is never something I think someone would want to pass up. And I feel like I got down there and it's been so much more than I could have ever imagined. So I'm like very happy I made that jump because it was scary at first.
Yeah. And so you're entering your final year.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm doing like a 5th year. I've done 4. So I finished my degree, but I'm going back because I still have eligibility.
So going back just to keep running. And because the truth of the matter is there's the nil factor, but there's also like sponsorship opportunities. And as runners, like, Nike or whoever, like, so do you have an agent or do you just do this all? Like, how's that work?
Yes, I started working with an agent last fall. So after cross country. Yeah. So hopefully post collegiately, that's definitely the road I want to go down, running professionally with a group maybe in the States. So yeah.
And so when you run professionally, is like there's a running circuit for 5 and 10Ks. Like we see it in the Olympics. So that's obviously the goal is to train for that. Because I know we're talking about it, we'll get to it later about, the Canadian nationals and having that here. And so for a 5 and 10K runner, like obviously, like how many elite 5 and 10K runners would you say there are in Canada? Whether they're at, whether they're at American schools, but they're just Canadians. Like how many would there be,
I would say it's become a very much more popular sport. I would say like women professional. We have like a good handful, 5 or 10 in every event, like 15, 8, 5K, 10K. There's some very good Canadian women in the NCAA now. When I actually chose to go down there, I feel like more people were choosing to stay in Canada, but I think I've noticed more and more Canadians going down to US schools. So I would say when I'm at NCAAs, I would say there's usually a couple girls in each race that are Canadian. So
okay.
yeah.
And then obviously you know who them. So when you look at the Canadian nationals that are coming to Edmonton, by the way, next month, and like, would you know going in where you would rank? Like, I'm top 5, I'm top 10, and where you could have a realistic chance of finishing?
Yeah, I feel like you have a good sense. Nothing's ever certain, I would say, but yeah, there's a good group of women coming this year because it's Canadian Nationals. So I feel like it'll be one of the most competitive years. And then I think there'll be people from America, just American women trying to get a fast time. There was a few last year, but I think there's going to be more. So I'm excited for that. I think it'll be good. I've never gotten to race at home. I've never done the Edmonton half, so a lot of my friends and family will be there. So.
Okay, well, that's how. Now, I'm assuming your families come and see it some of your races over the
Yeah.
years, but not everyone, of course.
Definitely, they usually make it out a couple times per year for NCAA's, but I don't get to see them very often for sure.
Satie Sigstad joins us. She's an All-American cross country runner, specializes in the 5 and the 10K. You say you'll run the odd 1,500 one every now and then. Obviously, you're going to do the half as well. So when you got to college and you're like, well, obviously once you got recruited, you're like, hey, this is an opportunity for me. What's the biggest thing you've learned that's improved you as a runner? Like, what do you think the average person does wrong when we run?
Oh, I would say if I could like go back to my high school self, I think there's so much focus on the actual running and what I was doing at practice, and I didn't really think about like the 23 hours you're not at practice and the recovery and all that. So I think just taking care of the little things, there's so much more you can do to improve your running outside of the actual running, like sleep, hydration, nutrition. And I wish I had focused more on those factors because it's made such a difference in my running. And I was getting injured a lot when I was younger. And when I was at the start of college, I wasn't, making it the main focus of my life. And I think my coach at Villanova was like, you got to find a way to fit your life around running, not fit running into your life. And I think that like mindset shift of this being the center focus has been huge for me. And also if you're hurt right now and you can't run, there's so many things you can do to get ahead. So I think that's encouraging as well.
So when you had injuries, what were some of the early injuries that you've been able to avoid now?
In high school, I had a pretty bad fracture in my femur. That took me out for a while during COVID, actually. So I didn't get to run grade 11 or 12.
And you still got a scholarship?
Yes, I was lucky with COVID in that sense because there are no races going on. No one was racing. So it worked out well that I got to go down in States for sure. But and yeah, so that was good timing, I guess, on my sense. But luckily I was able to start running at the end of grade 12 and get ready so I could race in the fall my freshman year. But that was a really hard injury. And then I've just had some like hip injuries. So that's why I have my 5th year because I've had to redshirt 3 seasons. So yeah.
Injuries there's very few runners that don't get injured at some point, right? It's a lot of wear and tear in your body. There's no question about it. You're doing a lot of weight training. I know Jeff Woods is your trainer right now. So good luck with that. No, I'm kidding. Jeff's a great guy.
No, he's awesome.
But the strength training component really, that's going to limit, you said earlier, that's going to limit your chances, hopefully, of injury. But it also, like, is there a specialized weight stuff that you do that you feel, okay, we got to get this in because this is actually going to help me? Because in your sense, it's probably like we're talking trying to cut off seconds, right?
Yeah. It's very small. It's a small difference, but a second could be a lot. But I would say I don't do like a lot of the core, like smaller. I lift heavy, I would say. Main exercises, I try to do like compound lifts or like squats, deadlifts. Pretty simple stuff like the basics, deadlifting, bench pressing, nothing super complex. I feel like that's gotten me the farthest. I honestly, I don't try to make it too fancy in there. Yeah.
Now, how tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
5'8", and I know some people Greg, I can't believe you asked this question, but I think it's relevant. What do you weigh in at? What are you running?
I'm about 120 pounds.
120 pounds, 5'8".
Yeah.
So, you're deadlifting then. Like, do you deadlift a lot?
Yeah.
And so, what do you deadlifted?
I try to get up to like 1.5 like times my body weight.
Oh, okay.
Nothing crazy. I'm trying to build on that number. So yeah, but
And is it more reps rather than heavyweight? Like, do you look to get more reps involved? Like, so if you know what, if we're going to do 180 pounds, we're going to do 180 10 times rather than do 190 2 times.
Yeah, I would say definitely it's based on the season you're in. So there's a lot of cycles involved. It's a little more complex, but I think out of season, I'm trying to lift heavier, less reps. And then in season, more reps, lighten the weight, especially during racing and coming in and out of races. And maybe I'm lifting less often, but like this would be a crucial time to, build up strength coming into the next year.
What advice, and we'll take a quick break, but what advice would you give to young athletes who are listening, who are thinking about, track or cross country, and the things that you look back on that you're like, hey, this is what I would do different, right? Or at the same time, things that you wouldn't do that some people have done that doesn't lead you down the path of success?
I would say overall, I think just be patient. I wish I had been more patient and not rush so hard to get there when I was so young, because running is such a long career sport. It's something you can get into late and have a lot of success at.
Okay.
Join in high school and make it to the NCAA. So I think that would be my number one tip. Recovery, huge role. I think I used to just blast everything in high school, and I didn't really ever take a step back just to like rest and focus on that aspect. So that's actually really when you improve and get better. So I would say that that would be my two main pieces of advice, I think.
So now when you're running and you said you run every day?
Yeah. Now, the non-high school, I was only probably running like 5 days a week.
Okay. So you don't even have like one day off a week now?
Some weeks. If I'm coming off a race, I'll take a day off.
And so you were telling me that you run 8 miles in the morning and then 5 in the afternoon. So you're running twice a day. You split it up. So when you run at 8 miles, like how long of a warm up do you do? And then what do you have a set time you start at every day, ideally?
Yeah. So I think when I try to run doubles, they recommend like 5 or 6 hours. You don't have to go perfect to the nose on that. But that's usually the spacing. I try to get up in the morning, then have the second run done before dinner. But I don't really warm up. I'd say I feel like most of my runs are pretty moderate or easy. So they don't require a huge warm up, but I would say stretch, get your body a little bit loose. Before
you do
hit
some
it.
jumping jacks, some walking lunges. You're not just walking out the door like, the average guy, like idiot like I did when I hadn't ran for a long time. Let's just go out there. I'll do a few knee lifts, pull my knee up to my chest. Oh yeah, I'm good. Here we go. And, that's not great. But do you have did you find there are better exercises that help a cross country runner to warm up so you're ready to go when the race is there?
Yeah, definitely. If I'm working out or racing, I feel like the warm-up's a bit more extensive. I would say like 20-minute jog. This is just me. It's different for everyone. A, B's and C's, high knees, some maybe some lunges. I do some leg swings, just anything to get kind of your hips opened up and your arms moving.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to ask you to stick for one more segment, Satie, because I want to kind of get into the actual racing itself. It's fascinating to me. We'll continue on. Satie Sigstad joins us in studio. Of course, two-time All-American in cross-country running at Villanova here on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
The Discover Days sales event has been extended at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $7,500. Final month extended. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $4,000. Save up to $7,500 on a 2025 demo XC40. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Come experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Friday, August 1st. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
McDonald's Sundays and snack size shakes are $2 or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here. My phone. I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Summer yard work is a breeze with Echo in the Lawnmower Hospital. Check out Echo chainsaws and grass trimmers with the Speed Feed Trimmer Head. Echo's Pro Attachment Series makes almost any job possible with 16 versatile attachments, and it's a great time to pick up a backpack blower. Ideal for moving leaves and debris in summer or blowing away snow in the winter. See lawnmowerhospital.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Little Brian Adams for you on a lovely Monday afternoon. Welcome back. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Reminder, $40 million up for grabs and Lotto Max tomorrow. Get your tickets, PlayAlberta.ca. Villanova cross country track and field star Satie Sigstad joins us in studio, two-time All-American. And I want to get to like the competition itself on race day. And during the commercial break, we were talking, you're telling me when it's cross country, it's 240 of the best girls, and you line up in a straight line across. So think of just people out there visualizing. You got 240 athletes on the line, and then you go, and it's kind of like a funnel, and you want to get to the front. Like how much jockeying, how physical are the starts?
Yeah, I would say that's actually one of the parts of the race I probably get the most nervous for, is the start of the race of like those cross country meets. Because they go out so fast. So you got to be pretty powerful off the line. Because if you will just get lost in the current, and once you're too far back, it's hard to move up. Because it's just like body to body. Like the course is only like 5 or 10 across, like max. So it's pretty hard to move up. So you want to have a good spot right from the gun. But I would say nationals can be a little bit of a disaster. Like you'll see people get trampled and you have to like just jump over them going. So
I was going to ask like how often, because I was just watching the Tour de France and I see some of those starts. It's chaotic. And one guy bites it and then everybody's going crazy. But I'm assuming in track and field, somebody gets spiked or just slips and loses, or more so you get, 2 feet, you guys trip each other, not on purpose, but it just happens. And then it goes down. And now it's just a matter of, well, I'm just trying to step through the minefield. And sometimes you're stepping on someone's leg or their shoulder and you just keep going.
Oh, totally. And in track, I would say it's even worse. Like I've gotten spiked up. My whole like leg was spiked up at regionals in Florida at start of June. So yeah, it's pretty common. A lot of people usually go down. Cross country, I would say, is more physical in that sense.
It is more physical?
Yeah.
What about like the mental side of the game when you go into the race, okay, like I'm a top 15. This is where it should be. The other girl, like how, like, are there racers that are jerks? Like, is it obvious? Like there are just some that know they're a little bit more physical. They're a little dirtier. Like do runners get a reputation like that?
I would say that, especially maybe like the girls you race more frequently at like conference meets and stuff, you kind of get to sense how they race. And like, how they play it out, especially when you're getting into those like final laps, bell lap. So it's something to watch out for. But yeah, it's pretty common. I feel like I never take it to heart. if someone is a little physical in the last couple laps.
Oh, so you don't, but do you know, like, are there, like, does Villanova have a rival? Like, are there, or does Satie have a rival that you're like, okay, this is, Lisa or Sarah? God, I can't stand it.
I don't think I have a rival, someone, but I would say Villanova, like UConn, Georgetown
Okay.
would probably be our two rivals. They're in our conference as well, so.
Yeah. And so that's like, obviously in their conference, that's the main competition, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's who you see the most. And there's a little bit of bragging rights. And I'm sure what are the crowds at a cross country race?
They're huge. Like this fall and when they were at Natty Coleman, Wisconsin, there was like, I think they can get up to like 10,000 people plus at those races. It's like lined, like the whole 6K, like start to finish. You won't go a single spot without people. It's great though, because you can't even hear yourself breathing. You can't hear yourself hurting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, that part's good. Now, looking at the process, you're in your final year, and we talked a little bit about the sponsorship thing. So, when you're done, then do you officially turn pro? Is that how it works? Like, how does it work in cross country once you're done your collegiate career?
Yeah. So I think after this year, after track finishes in June, the goal is to run professionally. You obviously need a brand though to sign you to do that. There's lots of great groups in the US, and there are groups in Canada as well. So
Okay.
that's definitely what I have my eye set on. Either a group like a track focus group or a roads focus group. I think as you get older, you usually move up in distance. That's just a tendency for most people. So I would
Why is
probably
that?
be. I think the level gets higher, and your top speed is something that's often hard to improve. But I think working at your aerobic system and building that strength is something you can kind of always keep adding to. So I think that causes people to frequently move up in distance. Yeah.
So, would 10K be your max distance?
I probably 10K and then half marathon. Yeah.
So you would look at becoming a half marathoner?
Yeah. On the roads, like 10K half marathon, like anywhere in that range. Yeah.
Anywhere in that range. Now when is the race in Edmonton?
August 17th. It's 3 weeks from yesterday.
3 weeks from yesterday. Okay. So take me through leading up to that race. Does your training module change at all in what you're doing, how often you're running, how long you're running?
Yeah. So I'd say this race, I might not take the most like traditional approach to it because I have cross country and that's my main focus to show up for my team this fall and, put my all into my final year. But I think heading into this race, I've been running pretty higher mileage, building a base for next year and for this race. And then as I get closer, I'll sharpen up a little bit more speed work, drop the mileage and taper heading into that last week. So usually you're dropping it up to 50% that final week.
And so your fastest 5K, I think you were telling me, is 15 minutes and change. So just 3 minutes a kilometer. Anybody out there listening, you can figure that out. It's pretty damn quick. And so do you find for you, are you better at 10 right now or are you better at 5? If someone asked you today, here's your best odds, which race are you taking?
Probably 10K. Yeah. I think I'm a better 10K runner than 5K. But I think I just am better the longer I go. So I'm excited.
So you can maintain your pace longer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And is it just mental after a while? Obviously there's a physical attributes to it, right? But because I know a lot of marathon runners aren't out there running marathons all the time, right? For practice, right? You run a certain speed, you get used to it. It's the wear and tear, everything. You want to protect yourself. But when the pain starts to come, because eventually the pain's there, it's impossible, I would think, not to. How do you learn to kind of push yourself through that?
Yeah, I would say I think just the years build a lot of resilience in that aspect. That's definitely something I also, going back to one of your previous questions about tips I would give for younger runners, I think the mental aspect is often overlooked, and people often only turn to it when they experience a really low moment. And I think it's something that all runners and athletes can work on, because I've put a lot of work into it this year, especially, and I have noticed a huge difference heading into races. If you have a clear plan and what you want to do, I feel like it just makes things easier. Because there is always going to be that moment in the race where you're oh, I don't know, and you got to like choose to trust yourself and go for it. So
what have you worked on that's made you mentally tougher?
I think just having a plan, maybe an A, B, and C, or like if this happens, what am I gonna do if this happens? I think the higher level you get, the more mental prep it requires, because the stakes they get higher as you level up. So I would say that's something that's been crucial for me. I think it brings like a lot of clarity and calmness into the race if you know what you're gonna do and you just kind of have to execute it. There's not a lot of thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, wow, that makes sense. Do you write down your plan?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, because Lorianne Munzer, who we have on, she talks a lot about, like, for her, like, she had a little notepad and she wrote down all her competitors. Now, she was doing sprint where she was one-on-one on the track, so you had to know all your competitors' tendencies, but it's probably no different when you get to the top. You kind of know where, Alice likes to run this way. Like, are you a fast starter? Do you like to be out in front? Are you better in chase mode? Like, is there that type of strategy in a 10K?
Yeah, I like to run even. I wouldn't say like I'm a huge kicker. I'm okay with leading from the front. It doesn't scare me. So that's sometimes what I like to do. It kind of just depends on the situation. But I do think visualizing what you want to do is huge. I used to not take it seriously and almost thought it was like not pointless, but I was just like, does that really,
Yeah.
And it does. So at least in my experience.
Well, that makes sense. I think there's things that, 16 and 17-year-old Satie would have said, well, this is just dumb. And now you're like,
Yeah.
God, I wish I would have known that. But that's just life. Like, there's a lot of things that we think are, oh, yeah, mom and dad don't know what they're talking about. And in this case, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about until you get a little bit older and you realize, oh, it's important for sure. Now, when you come home and you train, like, are you a solo runner? Are you better with the training partner? How does that, like, do you like to run with someone or are you running on your own? Because I'm sure there's not a lot of people who just random call up, hey, Sarah, we went to high school. Do you want to come run with me? And they're like, yeah. Like, no, like I could ride my bike and you could run. That's probably what's probably more likely.
No, definitely. I'm very much a solo operator when I'm at home, which I do miss at school, having all my girls to run with, but I'll be back there in 4 weeks. So I think it helps me appreciate what I have at school a bit more.
So you train together as groups?
Yeah. Though we have a great women's team at Villanova.
And so if you're the fastest of the group, who pushes you?
Well, I feel like we complement each other. That we have a lot of depth on my team, but we complement each other a lot. There's girls that are great at running like the 800 and they help me in stuff, like shorter, faster reps. So they can pull me along and I can pull them along on the longer stuff. So yeah.
Because you were telling me, like, I know when you qualified for the nationals this year, your school didn't qualify. So you kind of went because you had the time, you had qualified. So you're there. And in racing, like we see a little bit in the Tour de France, like when you're a team, like if you're one of the fastest ones, your team kind of protects you. So you go to nationals and you don't have that. You're lined up and you're the only one from Villanova, and lots of schools might have 3 or 4, right? No, so did you notice, like, was there a different strategy? Were there other schools, I don't know if boxing out's the right word, but was that happening when you don't have a team to run with?
Yeah, I think having a team, just like that support, the momentum brings you along. I think I ran Nutty Comb pre-nationals in September with my team, and I got a pretty clean, smooth start off the go. And then I went back there for NCAAs in November, and I was on my own, and I did not have a clean start. And I was out pretty back at the first like K or 2, and I had to work my way up to the front. And so that was really stressful. So I think it showed me the difference, because I think when you start with your team, you all go out, you kind of pack up. You'll see in like the meets, people stay kind of in their schools as they move up, and then it eventually spreads out. But yeah.
Do you, like, for a lot of your friends that, you have from high school still, they see at Villanova and stuff, like when they come home and I'm like, if the average person, like I'm trying to give people a sense of, because a lot of times when we see certain sports, when everybody's fast, it doesn't really look like it's that fast, if that makes any sense. And then you put the average Joe or average Jill against them and you're like, damn, right? So you're running 3 minutes a kilometer, and most people are like, man, if I could get 5.5, that'd be pretty good. But that's like a significant, like 2 minutes in a kilometer is massive, right? Like you're almost, 400 meters ahead of somebody else, right? The lap of a track. So do you kind of have a sense of how fast you are, like to the average person?
I would say yes and no. I feel like I've grown up being around runners my whole life. So that's probably made me a bit biased. And then in the States, you're just around such a pool of incredible athletes, and so many people are from international, like countries around the world. So that has influenced it. But yeah, I would say so. I would say though, I see other, like my friends play other sports and I'm like, wow, imagine doing that, like playing tennis, or like, catching a baseball, something like that, like the speed it requires. So
Were you good in any other sports? Or passionate
I
about any others?
swam a little bit.
Okay.
I tried a few things here and there. Obviously played soccer. I feel like most kids do that, but yeah.
So could you do a triathlon?
I did do a few triathlons actually. Yes, I did like provincials and a few duathlons, which was fun. I feel like that was more my speed. Yeah.
Like the swimming and the running?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, obviously, with your training now, like there's no chance you would just go out for fun and do a triathlon, would you?
Maybe. I've thought, I see people do Ironmans and I'm like, I got to do one of those one day just to
An
complete
Ironman?
it. Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. Well, you had a swimming background that can help because that I found. Now I just did a sprint triathlon, and swimming 750 meters was like
No, that's
killer.
no joke.
No, it was no joke. But I will say the training for that, for just a schmuck like me to just try to get through it, right? Like it wasn't like my swimming technique was great or anything, but I don't think I ever slept better in my life when I trained for that month and a half of swimming. Like every day it was, and I actually felt pretty good. Like, so do you would swimming help you just as a runner? Because it seems like it's less like it helps your cardio in a different way than running, but it's not like physically as hurtful other than your shoulders if you overdo it, but it's less impact on your legs for sure.
Oh, definitely. I would say it's a great alternative, especially if you're hurt. I've used it a lot when I've been hurt in the pool or pool running. If it gets your heart rate up. I would still say I'm not a great swimmer, so I feel like it's a hard workout for me. Like I am struggling.
So as a runner, and you run all the time, as we mentioned, 8 miles a day when you're doing doubles. So if you're doing a double, it's 8 miles in the morning, 5 miles in the afternoon. If you're doing a single day, what do you run?
Anywhere, from 10, maybe 12, 15. I would say my days are pretty even. Yeah. That we do have like shorter days where we might just run like once for like 45 minutes or something.
Like I like how you're just like, just run for 45 minutes, no big deal. Do you listen to music when you run?
Yes, definitely. I don't think I could do it without especially at home when I have no one to run with. I like some sort of like stimulus or like talking.
So what is what's on your playlist?
Oh, I feel like it changes every day. I was listening to like the Foo Fighters today. That was just my whole run. I like country a lot. I'm a huge country fan. Yeah.
Okay. Like Morgan Wallen country?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Pretty basic.
He's coming here, I think.
Yeah, I think it's end of August, or
I think so,
I'm just gonna miss it. So I'm bummed. Yeah.
Now, what's been your coolest experience at Villanova that doesn't involve track?
Ooh. That's hard. I would say like sports wise, the basketball, I'm sure you know about the Villanova basketball. Those I feel like once you attend a game, just that experience, like the energy they bring, I feel like the fans are insane. And I'm lucky that I got to go to a school that has that kind of like team culture. I remember my freshman year when they made the Final Four, like the whole campus was like nuts, like flames, like garbage cans were being set on fire. Like it was just bonkers. So
I noticed if anybody out there Googles your name and that you go to the women's to Villanova, when you're running, you always have the V on your face, like for the Villanova V. Is that like an automatic in every race?
Almost automatic. Yeah, it's good luck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you is there anything else? Are you superstitious?
We wear orange ribbon in our hair, so that's like my team thing. So I feel like that's another like good luck. I am pretty superstitious though. And I try to not be, but it's a hard habit to break.
So what is your give us something? What are you superstitious about?
I would just say like my routine on the day, like everything.
You have to put your left shoe on first or your right. Which one's going on first?
Usually left, I'd probably say, like just like time wise, like what I do before my race leading in, my playlist. I do have a race day playlist, so I follow that to a T. Lucky socks. Yeah.
Lucky socks.
Lucky socks.
What happens when they get worn out? You just have a backup? Because McDavid still has his lucky socks that got holes in them.
I've luckily have a couple of the same pairs,
Oh,
so
okay.
I have a little bit of time before I reach that problem. But
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, that's fair. So what's the significance of the orange?
So actually it's a bit of a sad story, but my coach's husband died the year before I got to Villanova. So it's kind of just we're carrying on his legacy. It was his favorite color, orange. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay, so it's got some. Oh, that's nice. So, and what do you feel was the biggest benefactor that you learned going to Villanova that's helped you as a runner?
I would just say I feel like because it's a small school, you get a lot of support and like one-on-one. And it has such a rich history with running. I feel like Villanova really encourages you to be like well-rounded as an individual with like academics, as a person, as a teammate. I think I've had to like step up as like a leader on my team, and I think that's been a huge I think benefit to me as a person and like going past running. And when I'm done out of the sport, I feel like what I'm going to take away from it the most is how like Villanova shaped me as a person more than just like a runner.
And what did you take in school?
I did math and statistics.
Oh, so let's say when you're done running and you have to get a job, do you know like what kind of job?
Oh boy, I get asked this question. My parents too. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I want to do a desk job. I think I would struggle with that. I think I want to be like out and about in the world. So I've actually really thought about going to like nursing school or yeah, something I want to be on my feet. I like engaging with people. So.
And how many pairs of shoes do you go through a year? Running shoes.
Oh, breaking the bank. Probably like 12 or 16.
So like one a month, basically. At least
Yeah,
minimum.
yeah. Plus like with the spikes and everything and the flats. So it's a lot. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Well, Satie, it's been great. Thanks so much for joining us in studio. For those that are going to be involved watching or are participating, we'll see you at the half marathon, right? And it's the Canadian champ. But you said you're not, because you're more of a 5 or 10K, so you're not really going in. Like obviously, you always want to win, but you're not training to win that, right? Because you're not changing your training for that, even though it's a bit longer of a race, correct?
Yeah, mainly just training for my last collegiate year. But I think, it's not too far off the 10K. So I'm hoping I can still race well, put a good showing out. But yeah.
Yeah, because a half is what, 21?
21, yeah.
21, okay. And because you're from Edmonton, you should know the track, right? Like you'll know where it is. Do you get to run sections of it? I know you couldn't run it all unless they shut it down. But would that be an advantage at all?
Maybe. I do think home like court advantage, home track advantage is always a thing. I think just that comfort level. So I am looking forward to that. I might even try run the sidewalks, maybe see what it's like. I feel like I grew up though in that area. I used to go to the zoo all the time, so I know it quite well.
So you know where you're going.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Satie, thanks so much for this. Best of luck, and we'll be following to see how you do. Do you have a goal for your final career?
Villanova.
Your final year, yeah.
I think just continue to be All-American on the track and cross.
Like, do you set a time? Like, did you to try to like best it by I don't know, like over the course of the years? Like, I don't even know what's realistic in 1 year. Is it 5 seconds? At that long? Is it 2 seconds? I don't even know.
Yeah, maybe 5 or 10 seconds. I don't know. I think improve on my placement is a huge goal of mine from last year. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, and we'll keep in touch.
Thank you so much for having me.
There you go. That's Satie Sigstad joins us, of course, All-American runner from Scona High. Got a few of you texters coming in, shouting out your alumni, which makes sense. I totally get a few Lords alumni texting in. So there you go. We'll take a quick break. We'll return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 air conditioning company. So when you can't take living in oppressive heat any longer,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if your hot, sticky sheets keep you up all night,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if you've decided that you deserve to be cool and comfortable,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
and with no payments, no interest for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design, build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
You have a choice, and it's a hard one. GMC employee pricing or 0% financing at Wolf GMC Buick. A hard choice, but also super awesome. Get GMC employee pricing on our Sierra lineup, from the Sierra half-ton to the heavy duties. If you have cash, get discounts over $12,000 on many of our Sierras, along with GMC pricing. Or choose 0% financing on our Sierra half-ton lineup. And what a great selection of GMC terrains and fabulous Buick SUVs to pick from. So many choices. But one thing's for sure, you are getting the best deal at Wolf GMC Buick.
Tee off to win with Cattail Crossing's $10,000 hole-in-one challenge, powered by Sports 1440, Canada's first ever Aqua Range event. Just walk up, grab some golf balls, and start swinging. Or book a VIP bay today. Win $10,000 with a hole-in-one. Plus, great secondary hole and leaderboard prizes. Closest to the pin and monthly winners will battle for a $50,000 grand prize. The hole-in-one challenge. Open Thursday to Sunday, noon till 8 through August. Weather permitting, cattailcrossing.ca.
Edmonton Elks salute the service, presented by James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. August 2nd, 1300 hours. EE battles the Ticats. Catch the Royal Canadian Air Force pregame flyover, the salute the service flag football tournament, and more. Tickets start at just $20 at goelks.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Feeding a crowd, get the triple play. 3 large specialty or 5 topping pizzas for only $54 when you use promo code 3play at papajohns.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$3.50. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Live on Owners Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Big thanks again to Satie for coming in, giving us some insight into to track and field. It's such a massive sport when you consider how many people and players, it doesn't matter, athletes in other sports, lots of them, like football, especially basketball, many of them were track and field stars. Well, it helps so many different areas of your game. You want to get a little bit quicker as a hockey skater, you don't just skate, you run, right? You get better technique. And when you get a good running coach and you just see the difference of how to plant your feet, how to get your feet underneath you, which I know sounds like, well, of course my feet are underneath me, but not to engage your speed or your power and get your feet up. I think it's awesome. And it's hard. Like those, like obviously it was interesting listening to say she runs 5 and 10K. She goes, oh, I could run 100, but it'd be painful because your body to go flat out for 10 seconds. Like the great runners obviously make it look easy, but that is such an incredible amount of stress and exertion on your body to do it. Right? Like the average person to even run 15 seconds on 100 meters. Because I know there's a lot of people listening. You're like, oh, yeah, in high school, I ran this or that. Okay. Well, you're not in high school. The average person now to run 15 seconds in 100 meters, I think you'd be surprised at how few could do it. That's 15 seconds. So, you'd be at about 50 meters, 60 meters when the fastest runners in the world are crossing the finish line. It's a significant difference. And it's hard. But then you get to like the marathon runners now, like the fact that people can run a marathon in 2 hours is mind blowing. because you're essentially running 15-second 100-meter for 2 straight hours. Every 100 meters, you're doing it at 15 seconds on average to get to 2 hours to run a marathon. It's wild how fast that is. So you think about how quick you have to exert yourself to get to 15 seconds and then do that over and over and over and over and over again for 120 minutes. Like it's basically you're doing that 15 seconds and then you got to do it 480 more times. Yeah. For 100 meters. That's basically what it gets down to. It's absolutely nuts. It's nuts. Like the advancements in all sports that we see, but the 2 minute, well, the 2 hour. Remember when a 4-minute mile used to be the big thing? Like it's really not even close to that anymore. It's crazy. Now, I love what Satie said when she talked about, training and nutrition and rest, right? Like rest is such a big importance because your body needs it. And I think overtraining, I talk to trainers, they say the number one mistake young athletes who are pretty good make is they overtrain because you think, oh my goodness, I'm not running today. I'm not lifting today. I'm not getting better. But you're not really able to maximize anything by continually doing it. So sometimes I cringe when I listen to, young they're on the ice 6 or 7 days a week. I'm like, what? Their body's growing. NHL teams aren't doing that. Yet you're doing it at a young age. It's kind of crazy to me. Cons, were you ever a runner?
In junior high, I was a runner, but not like Satie. I was 100, 200 meter. That was kind of the best for me. I didn't like long distance. And that's kind of the mental side that I really respect about those types of athletes. Like my mind would just wander when I would run. I'd just be like thinking about the most random things to stay locked in, stay with your technique. I'm sure breathing patterns is another thing that, they do at an elite level, things that I wouldn't even think of. Like, I think the mental side of that is just something that's really, really interesting.
Oh, well, yeah, just to push yourself, through the pain and to continue to go, definitely on longer distances key, right? But even like a 400-meter race is hard. 800 meters now. Like it's almost like not almost. They're sprinting, just not like for 800 meters. Like look at how fast they run, even the 5,000 meters now. It's 10,000. Like it's crazy at every level, just how much quicker they're going than ever before. And then you got to find your body type and what works for you and what doesn't. And it's mild. So. Hey, Gregor, 40 years ago, I was a Strathcona Lord. They were heavy in the track and field. I hated running so much, I took up competitive swimming just so the track coach would leave you alone. Honest Ed. Well, there's still a school, they got a really good reputation. They got a great track team. Lots of other ones, but track and field at Scona is one of their best attributes. It just is. So it's nice. Coming up in the, we'll get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate. Cody Fajardo, quarterback of the Green and Gold, will join us. How can they get on the winning track? They took some positive steps in some areas, and then they took some steps back in other areas, which seems like something we've discussed a few times around this team. But offensively in the second half, really, like you look at the third quarter, their offense did nothing. Right? Like there's too many stretches in games this year where they just don't play good enough. And you'll be solid, here. And then all of a sudden it's like, what are they? They got outscored 20-0 over a 30-minute period of time. Like that's like, you're done. It's hard to win. They won the fourth quarter. They outscored them 14-0 in the fourth quarter. Great. The problem was they were down 21-4 at that point. So yeah, it's great that, you make the comeback, but it didn't look good at the end of the day. It's just kind of wasted time and some stats in that quarter. Let's get to the Econ Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by the Red Deer Resort and Casino. Give your kids a summer to remember. Bears, beds, and belly laughs. Book the Stay Wild package at Red Deer Resort and Casino today. That's reddeerresortandcasino.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Busy day in the majors. Jays kicking off a series against the Orioles in Baltimore. First pitch set for 4:35. You also the Diamondbacks and the Tigers. The Rays in New York taking on the Yankees. Reds host the Dodgers. Red Sox meet the Twins. Cards in Marlins. Padres host the Mets, and the Mariners taking on the Athletics. Cleveland Guardians closer Emmanuel Place was placed on the non-disciplinary paid leave through August 31st as part of Major League Baseball's investigation into sports gambling. The second Guardians pitcher to be caught up in the inquiry. Guardians right-hander Luis Ortiz remains on the list after originally being placed on July 3rd. After unusual gambling activities on 2 pitches he threw for balls, his leave was extended to August 31st. You got 2 games in the WNBA tonight. Seattle taking on Connecticut at 5. Then at 6, Dallas in New York. In the pool, Canada's Summer McIntosh won her second gold medal at the World Swimming Championship, taking the 200-meter individual medley on Monday, finishing 2 minutes and 6 seconds, nearly 2 seconds ahead of American Alex Walsh, who claimed silver. Fellow Canadian Mary Sophie Harvey won the bronze. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Edmonton Elks quarterback Cody Fajardo. We'll hear Cam Pate's 2-minute warning and ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
So you're dying from the heat, sweat dripping on your sheets. You want to cool it down, but your AC can't compete. So you fall upon your knees and cry out, oh please, I need a cooling breeze. Send me Legacy's AC Repairman.
Legacy's AC Repairman.
AC Repairman.
Can't spell legacy without AC.
Legacy Heating and Cooling's got a guy who's really good at fixing broken ACs. So if you got one, call Legacy. Okay, see you later.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The Discover Days sales event has been extended at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $7,500. Final month extended. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $4,000. Save up to $7,500 on a 2025 demo XC40. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems.
Lovely Monday afternoon.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power.
Hope you had a good weekend.
Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Afternoon. Welcome back.
Come experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball Friday, August 1st. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
If you're an experienced RV salesperson, you have to be concerned about the state of the industry right now. With so much uncertainty, companies are downsizing their sales teams, especially at new RV stores. Right, Rick?
That's right, Bob. Nobody knows what the future holds. But here at Noble RV, we're hiring. And we're looking for a very particular kind of RV salesperson. Of course, experience with used RVs is always an asset here.
This role requires a good sense of what the used RV owner needs, how to help them solve problems, and enjoy more of the great outdoors.
You got it, Bob. It's technically a sales position, but with none of the rat race you deal with now. You'd be more of a problem solver, helping RV owners with their ongoing experience. Someone with a few miles on the odometer is the ideal candidate. If you're ready for an exciting new career at Alberta's biggest used RV store, come find me, because there's a future for you here with us.
And that's Noble.
NobleRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio, from weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 4 o'clock. Lovely Monday afternoon. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely day. Big plans for the week. It is a long weekend coming up, and it's going to be August on Friday. Crazy. Quickly. The only thing I don't like about August is you start to feel it. All of a sudden overnight, it's a little bit chillier. I don't love it. I don't love it at all. I love our summer, and I love fall here, but just don't like that. Like, it's like it just hits you like one day. It's like August 2nd or 3rd, boom. And you're like, all right. Now, the good news is when it gets hot, it doesn't feel as hot. Like, although this July hasn't been the hottest, that's for sure. But we haven't had much smoke, so I will take it. I will take it. It's nice. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can text us in our inbox. It's the Gregor Show, as always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, and it's time for the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer long at legacyheating.ca.
The number 103 has never been significant in my life. It is now, and I'm going to remember it for quite some time. 103. There you go, Gregor. Start your vehicle. Show's over. We now know what the big hot dog is. Write this down. It's important. Very important. 103. Now, a bit of what we call context. Got that over there, Connor Halley? Hey, how's little Benny? Maybe I'll get him a t-shirt with 103 on it. Okay, sorry. It began last Wednesday with Sports, 1440's Declan Kruger, who, along with his recording device Gizmo thingy, was at Edmonton Elks practice. Then young Kruger told the honorary mayor of Maidstone, Low Tide, on the airwaves, where countless people and their pets listen, that when he was at practice, he was asked by Elks PR staff not to tweet anything. Not one fricking character on the quarterback story. Now, I was pretty fired up. Still am. I'm old. So old I was a cub reporter when the Dead Sea entered the hospital. And I'm old school when it comes to sports journalism. In my day, a PR person would never say such a thing. Never. Ever, never. Now, I humbly recognize, things ain't the same as when I started as a sports writer in 1979 with the Edmonton Journal. Not only laptops replacing loud typewriters, but society's mindset. Gotta be careful. Giving myself a headache. Okay, sorry. So I decided to, because nobody told me not to tweet it, ran a Twitter poll. A question. Yes or no. Were you concerned about the Elks PR staff telling a member of the media what not to write? I almost fell out of the buggy to read the results. We had 184 votes. Got that? 184 votes. And guess how many said, no bother at all? 103. 2-minute warning. Tate, Gregor, Halley. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Sports 1440.
Well, Tater's still fired up about it. I get it. Still. Yeah, that's one. Hey, learning experience. I would hope that's not something that's discussed again. So we'll see. What I find interesting, we got a lot of Greg. This text I want to read. Hey, Gregor, I saw your tweet about goaltending isn't the most important position. Care to elaborate? Yeah. Here's the easiest way to elaborate it. To put it in. Now, not everything's about the Oilers, even though people think that if you make a tweet, even though you don't even mention the Oilers in it, that somehow means it's the Oilers. I don't believe goaltending is the most important position. Here's why. Look at the Cup final of 2024. Sergei Bobrovsky had an .899 save percentage and a 2.69 goals against. Stuart Skinner had a .909 save percentage and a 2.33 goals against average. And people talk about how Bobrovsky stoned the Oilers and was the only reason they won. He did win a game, no question. Right? But I don't, if it's just goaltending, like look at this year. Look at games. So the series is tied 2-2. Now you go to games 5 and 6. Do you know what the high danger scoring chances were in those final 2 games combined? 23-8 in favor of Florida. Edmonton had 8 high danger scoring chances in 2 games. And people are going to act like Bobrovsky is the reason Florida won that series. And they won the games. Based on what? Right? Based on what? Good teams win. I don't believe there's a most important position because every game is a different game. Some games, your goaltender will stand on his head and win you the game. Some games, your best player, offensive forward, will score 3 goals, 2 assists, and you win 5-4. Other games, your team defense will be great, and your goalie has a pretty easy night, just makes a few standard saves. There's lots of different ways to win. And I know it's easy to want to find one person to blame because I think mentally some people can wrap their head around it better. Oh, if we just make this one change, we would have won. I hear it all the time. Oh, if you switch goalies, the Oilers would have won. Are you sure? You don't think Stuart Skinner, if he only faced 800 danger chances, would have had better numbers playing in Florida's net than in Edmonton's net? Like, seriously? I know, by the way, if you switch goalies, then Edmonton would have had to switch $7.4 million off of their roster as well. So where's that going up? Who's coming in? It's a what if that frankly is hollow and doesn't make a ton of sense. Right? It just doesn't. So can Skinner be more consistent? Hell yeah. Can the Edmonton Oilers be more consistent at crunch time? Hell yeah. Right? They just can. So I don't, it's easy to want to just blame a goalie because that's just what happens. Right? So it's just what happens. So there's not much that people will have their opinion and they're entitled to their opinion, but you got to back it up, right? So I look at Stuart Skinner in the 2024. I don't think he was the major reason why they lost the series. Right? I don't think he was. Bobrovsky was good, no question. He was good, but he wasn't dominant. He didn't have a 900 save percentage in the Cup final. Not even a 900 save percentage. But they won. So, because there's other factors than just the and then just looking only at the goaltending. I think it's too easy. Because if it was just goaltending, then the team with the best goalie would win more often. Right? And if the goalie was the most important position, how come they're not winning all the Conn Smythes? Right? Florida just won back-to-back cups. Their goalie didn't win the Conn Smythe either year. And who was the last goalie to win? Vasilevsky? Like in the last decade, one goalie's won. So I don't buy it that it's because I don't believe there is a most important position. So it's going to vary from how people play. If you continually give up quality chance after quality chance after quality chance, I think it matters who your goalie is. Eventually, he's going to get broken down. He's going to get worn down. They're going to score. And the numbers on certain teams will back that up. It just happens. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Greggs, what's the record for most shutouts in a playoff run from Andrew? Oh, in one playoff year? I don't know. I want to say it's like 7 or 8, to be honest. I don't know exactly who it is. I think it was 7.
Brodeur.
Marty Brodeur?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. So he had 7. I was going to say Hasek. I thought Hasek had 5. He had 6.
He had 6, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, then a bunch of had 5.
Yeah. So it's yeah, I think Vasilevsky, Kiprasov, Jaguar, and Habib Bulin all had 5. So yeah, Skinner had what, 3 this year or 4? 3, I think, right? So
3, yeah.
Which is not a bad run. So But he's terrible. Like, there's nothing good about Skinner's game. There's nothing good. He's the only reason they lost. Like, I don't necessarily buy into that. Could he be better? 100,000%. But so could others. But hey, guys, I think an individual goalie can have the biggest impact in the game because there's only two in a team, but definitely agree that team defense affects wins and losses more than anything. Luke. Well, just because there's only one goalie, yeah, he can impact the game sometimes, but then there's lots, like, he doesn't impact anything in the offensive zone, right? Where a good defenseman can impact the game, make great plays defensively, then he can make great plays offensively. So can a forward. A goalie can only impact one end. That's why I don't, is it important? Sure. But it varies from game to game. Some games, it's not that important. Some games, your goalie just kind of stands back there and has to make a few casual saves. Not that important, right? It's like I think sometimes, though, like Binnington, people talk about Binnington when the Blues won. He was solid, but if you look at him compared to everybody else, his save percentage was .914. His goals against was like .270. It was okay numbers, but Ryan O'Reilly won the Conn Smythe, and you had other guys like Binnington amongst goalies who at least won a round in the playoffs. He was like 6th best save percentage. You had lots of other guys who had higher. Like, look at Tuukka Rask, who they beat in the final, had a .934. They still didn't win. So I don't think it's the most important position. It can be important. I just don't think it's the most important from game to game because the game changes so much. So, right? It just does. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, goalie's first in the playoffs from Honest Joe. Well, Honest Joe, here's the numbers. Like I said, everybody likes to say, oh, the Oilers would have won without Stuart Skinner. Well, then how did Stuart Skinner in the Cup final in 2024 have a better save percentage and a lower goals against average than Bobrovsky? How? Right? If it's so obvious, then how come it's not right there? It's right in front of your face. I'm showing you the numbers. Right? Because every game's different. And there's just more to it. Did the Oilers, how many great chances did they generate in Game 7 of that Cup final? How many, honestly? Not a ton. They barely generated anything in Game 5 and 6 this year. So, I don't believe there is a most important position. I think it's a flawed question because there isn't a most important position because it changes all the time from game to game. And the makeup of your team. If you don't have a good team, you don't win. Having the best goalie doesn't guarantee you wins. It doesn't. If the goalie was the most important position, they would be top 5 draft picks every year. They're not. Right? Just like in football. Yeah, you need a good quarterback to be competitive, but you also need a good defense. Because if your quarterback doesn't play defense, and even though he scores, if your team's always giving up the same, well, then what does it matter?
Joe Burrow.
Yeah, fair point. Very good example. Joe Burrow's pretty damn good. But so I just think that the framing of most important is misleading. I don't think there is one in hockey. I just don't think there is. And like, what about baseball? People say, oh, the pitcher. Well, why? Which day? Right? Which pitcher? Is it the closer? Right? Is it your starter all the time? I don't know. Look at the Jays. Look at the Jays' best record in baseball. Where do they rank in runs scored? Where do they rank in runs against? Well, they rank way higher in runs scored. So are we certain that the pitcher is the most important? I don't think so. Quick break. When we return, we will hear from the quarterback of the Elks, Cody Fajardo. Up next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
It's the Bricks Price Meltdown. Score hot summer savings, like up to 40% off mattresses and a 10% instant credit towards sleep accessories. Save up to $900 off sofas and sectionals, and up to 25% off bedroom and dining packages. Plus, buy more, save more on select kitchen appliances, up to $500 off. Even more, find hot prices on Canadian-made pieces and get up to 15% off patio furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions, take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Your Edmonton Riverhawks host sitcom night. Tomorrow night at 7, the Prince of Puns, Gene Principe, hosts a celebration of classic sitcoms with wacky contests throughout the game.
Get your tickets today to watch the Hawks play at gohawks.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
McDonald's sundaes in snack-size shapes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here. My phone. I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Keeping your grass looking trimmed and beautiful all summer is a breeze with Toro in the Lawnmower Hospital. Head in and see a wide variety of residential walk-behind gas and battery mowers with personal pace, easy starting, and with Smart Stow. Saving up to 70% more room when storing. For bigger properties, try the Toro Titan with My Ride suspension. Financing available. See lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan for all your residential water needs. Your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles. Culligan.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely Monday afternoon, just starting the week. Get ready, though. Get a short week next week because it's a long weekend with a holiday Monday. Should be nice. Let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Rides Charter Company, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches that will safely take you or your group to your next destination. You got a team outing, you got maybe business, got to give everybody there for your team. Maybe you're just having a stagette. Need to get there safe in style, golf trip. They do it all at silentrides.ca. And we are joined now by the quarterback of the Edmonton Elks, Cody Fajardo, joins us on the line. Cody, good afternoon. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, Jason? Good to talk to you.
Yeah, you too, man. It's good. I guess, first of all, how was it going back to the place where your career started? I think that was your first start in Saskatchewan in many years.
Yeah, it was obviously the first time I played Sask, start or not. It was nostalgic for sure. I saw some Fajardo jerseys in the stands. I signed a couple Fajardo jerseys. So it's where my son was born. It was the first franchise to really give me an opportunity in this league as the franchise quarterback. So a lot of good memories there. And obviously the outcome wasn't what we wanted, but I thought the boys fought hard and we took it to the wire, which most CFL games do go to the wire. But it was good to be back in a place that I was familiar with.
You get under center, you get to be the starter. Obviously, as a competitor, that's what you want. You guys, your offense through 45 minutes, didn't score a lot, had only 4 points. And then in the fourth quarter, though, you made a heck of a comeback, 2 really good drives, scored 14 points, got right in it. What was the difference in the fourth quarter that you didn't see specifically in quarters 2 and 3?
Well, speaking to myself, I think in the first half, I was still trying to get my sea legs back underneath me. Last time I played meaningful football was, the East Final last year. So I felt like I was a lot of emotions running through me, pretty amped up. There's a few things I wish I would have done differently. I thought we moved the ball really well in the game. I thought our time of possession was much improved, but we didn't finish in the end zone. We had a field goal that we were first and goal from the 6-yard line and had a procedure penalty that kind of kicked us back. And I ended up scrambling and throwing it away, and we kicked a field goal. I think, scoring a touchdown there is a little bit different of an outlook, especially with the way our defense was playing. Held them to 1 point and going up 8-1 there instead of 4-1. Maybe a little bit different story. And then at the end of the half, we had about 30 seconds left. We were driving down the field, and we got an unfortunate holding penalty, which that happens from time to time. But when you have 30 seconds on the clock, it's just tough to overcome the penalty like that. So I thought overall in the first half, we were moving the ball really well. We just didn't finish with any points. And then in the second half, our third quarter was atrocious. That starts with me. We had the best field position of the day around midfield, and we went 2 and out. And something I wish I would have had back, a play I wish I would have had back. And then the fourth quarter, I think the biggest thing that kind of shifted in that fourth quarter was we really got comfortable with each other. It was something where leading up throughout the week, splitting reps with Trey and not having much reps with the starting offense. I think we kind of hit a little bit of a groove. And what I told the guys after the game was the team that we were, the offense that we were in that fourth quarter is who we need to roll this over into the next game against Hamilton, because that was an electrifying offense. That was a team that moved the ball, that finished in the end zone, that made plays when the ball went their way. So a lot of positives to take away, but unfortunately, no win in the win column.
Cody Fajardo joins us. And, Cody, the one thing I went through all the plays, and 20 times you guys were in second down, 15 of them was second and long. First down, other than that one series where you had 3 consecutive first downs on big plays, you guys put yourself in just, we all know the stats on it. It's harder when you're 2nd and 7 or longer than it is if it's 2nd and 2 or 3, right? There's more for the defense can pin their ears back. You're a little bit more predictable. How do you become more effective and more efficient, do you think, on first down?
Yeah, most importantly, I think we just got to get the run game going. I think our running backs had 5 carries. Now, the game got a little bit away from us heading into that fourth quarter. And it made it really difficult on our offensive line. There's 2 big factors. One, we were down multiple possessions going into the fourth, and we had to drop back and throw it. And their D-line is very talented, and they knew we had to throw it too. We were operating in a pretty chaotic atmosphere, so snap count is a little bit harder to hear sometimes, and just kind of gives a little bit more advantage to the defense. But with that being said, I think first down efficiency has kind of been our Achilles heel all year, where we found ourselves in too many dang second and longs. And second and longs in a 3-down league, you usually convert around a 20% clip, which is not very good. And even the higher end of the teams are converting at 30%. So it's not very positive numbers when you look at second and long, but when you look at second and medium or second and short, those are 60 to 80% conversion rates. So to your question there, we have to find ways to manipulate meaningful downs and meaningful yards early on. Even if we catch a ball out in the flat and get tackled for a 3-yard gain, a 2nd and 7 is a whole lot better than a 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 9. So every yard matters in this league, and I've learned that over the years of playing quarterback in this league, that there's no such thing as a bad yard. If you gain 1 yard, it's a whole lot better than gaining no yard.
Cody, you had mentioned after the game that you felt, you thought your O-line played okay. There was 8 sacks, and you felt like there was some decisions by you that led to some of them. And I think that's probably valid. I do think of some other ones that had nothing to do with you, and they just got beat by their guys, which will happen in football. But specific to your Elks, down into it, what were you talking about where you felt like you didn't help your O-line, and that's what led to the sack?
Yeah, we were down in the red zone on our procedure penalty, actually. And we had an RPO where I'm reading the linebacker. If the linebacker plays run, I pull up and throw. If the linebacker plays pass, I hand the ball off. The linebacker came up, play run. They covered it down really well. They had good coverage, so I unfortunately had to hold on the ball a little bit longer. It leads to a sack. They decline the penalty. That goes on the books. Right in the third quarter, we went RPO again. This time I'm reading the defensive end. We're 2nd and 6, I believe, 2nd and 5. Defensive end, he just got me. He came down hard, thought I could pull it and get around the edge. He maneuvered really well. They got athletic defensive end. I pull it. I try and pull up because he's in my face to throw the ball, take another sack. That's another one that's on me. End of the game, I'm trying to get something downfield, so I'm holding on the ball a little bit longer than normal, than just like 3 in a hitch, get the ball out of my hand. Trying to let the guys get down the field, knowing that we got to get into field goal range with not a lot of time on the clock, and took back-to-back sacks there. So off the top of my head, like there's 4 sacks right there that could be off the board if I just am smarter with the ball, whether it be throwing it away or trying to run for a couple of yards here, or in that one instance in the third quarter, handing the ball off to our running back. So it's a unit thing. Sacks is a unit thing. Everybody wants to talk about the offensive line and sacks. It's on the O-line, quarterback, running back. It's a 3-phase kind of thing when it goes to sacks, and the poor offensive linemen get all the blame. But like I said after the interview and after watching the film, our offensive linemen are going to get beat because there's really good defensive linemen in this league. But all 8 sacks are not on them, and I take a lot of that onus on me, and I take a lot of that on me. And I told them I got to be better, and I feel like I'll be better going into this next game, just feeling that game atmosphere and getting back to bullets flying again. I got to be better for them so that we don't get in those situations.
Cody, you mentioned just getting together and continuity as a group, and the coach came out. I think it's smart now that you don't want to be flip-flopping quarterbacks every week. I don't think that's healthy for either quarterback to do it. So you're the guy to go in, and obviously Trey Stills works with you just like you worked with him when he was the starter. What can be the biggest advantage for you this week in practice that can lead to more continuity and more productive plays offensively when it's 2 weeks in a row for you as a starter?
I think it's the reps that I take. We go into a game with about somewhere around 80 to 100 plays, and throughout the course of the week, you try to rep every play one time. The unfortunate thing when you split reps is there was some plays that Trey got a live rep at, and I just kind of had to watch from the back. And there were some plays I got a live rep at, Trey had to watch from the back. And so when you go out into a game and it's the first time you're running a play with live bullets and guys haven't caught that specific route from you, they don't really know how you throw it in terms of timing wise or where you're going to throw them to the area on the field. So I think a full week of practice with the guys is going to be huge. Also, when it's kind of a little bit more of that, competition back and forth thing, I wasn't as vocal as I usually am when it comes to a game week. If I do know I'm the guy, okay. Just talking through things with receivers and running backs, offensive line, and just here's what I see here, here's what I expect here. So going into a week like this and knowing that I'll be able to take those reps, I'll be way more vocal because I don't want to step on toes and say, hey, I like it this way. And then Trey's the starter, and then all of a sudden he sees it a different way, right? So I think that communication aspect will help us tremendously as well. And just getting the reps with the guys. And the more reps we get together as a unit, I think the better we're going to be.
Cody, you've been in the league, and you know it's hard for young quarterbacks. And while Trey's been in the league for a few years, he didn't have a ton of starts. He basically has just a season and a bit of starts under his belt, and learning the game. And man, the league is littered. Like Ricky Ray is the ultimate outlier, right? Most guys like Anthony Calvillo, many consider one of the best. Go look at his first 5 years in the league. It's nothing to be riveted about if you're just looking at statistics and results. Like, it's a hard position. How do you balance wanting, to help yourself and the team win, but also helping Trey understand the nuances of the quarterback position?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, honestly, for me, I'm just going to play the game that I know how to play it. And even though it might be a little bit different than how Trey plays the game, I think there's a few things that he might like and take from my game and implement into his game. Look, I got to spend 3 years with Ricky in Toronto, and I learned a lot from him. And we're two completely different quarterbacks, especially at the time when I was coming out of college and I was running, majority of the time instead of a pocket passer. But there was a lot of things I watched in his game that I was able to implement in my game, and also just how he prepares for weeks as a professional quarterback, and how he watches film, and just how he talks to the team and how he presents himself to the media. Like, there was a ton of things that I just learned, even though our game wasn't very similar. I was able to learn from him. And so talking with Trey, that was kind of the biggest advice I gave him, was like, look, man, just kind of watch what I do and question anything I do. And I'll kind of hopefully have an answer for you. And hopefully you can take a couple things so that when your opportunity does come again, you're ready, and you're just a different quarterback and a better quarterback in the sense of the whole surrounding of being a quarterback. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just being able to watch somebody. Now, he was around a guy like McLeod, who is another guy who's a true professional in the way that he carries himself. But sometimes you just click a little bit different with different quarterbacks. And I think Trey and I have a great relationship, and we have a very open and honest relationship where we're able to ask each other questions, and tough questions. And we take each other's feedback very close to the heart. And so I'm just trying to do whatever I can to help him become the best quarterback that he can be, while I'm trying to get myself back into that starter mentality.
Yeah. And that's, it's a unique situation, but obviously you want to have success, no doubt, as a team. I'm looking ahead to Hamilton, and, just how many points, like Bo Levi Mitchell's playing great right now. He had a great year last year. He's having another good season this year. Like, they're putting up a lot of points. Now, anything's possible, and maybe your defense stymies them. But when you look at it, say, hey, our offense is going to need to be more productive if we want to win this week. Is that a good mindset to have? Is it too much pressure? How do you approach it that way when you know the other team's offense is rolling?
It's a very good question, because I think sometimes teams and specifically players and the media especially, they get caught up in statistics. And in my opinion, and what I know about the CFL, is every game's its own entity, and it's what does that game need in the moment to win. Now, looking at statistics, you would say, okay, their offense is playing at a high level. We're going to have to score a lot of points. Maybe we get in the game, our defense is playing extremely well. We have to play smart on offense, no turnovers, and try and get mustered up as many points as we can, stay on the field, or maybe a shootout, right? So I think you don't understand until you really get into that game, and you have to realize what that specific game needs. Every game you want to go in and try and score 50 points. Is that going to happen? Probably not. But every game you feel good about the game plan. You feel good about what you put in work week wise. And then you kind of let the bullets fly when it comes game time. But I think that's what I've learned most about winning in this league, is every win is unique in its own way. It's not like it's the same recipe for each and every game, as every opponent's different. Every situation's different. We're just trying to get back to an identity, I think, on offense. And one of our best assets is running the football, and I think that's where we have to be better. We talked about the second down thing, but that's where we just have to be better, because I think we have great running backs, and we have an offensive line that is a lot of carryover from last year, and that last year's offensive line led the league in rushing yards per game. So we got to find a way to get a little bit more production there, and then hopefully that will help out the pass game and be able to move the ball down the field and take our shots when given the opportunity.
Cody Fajardo, quarterback of the Green and Gold, joins us. Cody, what about, you mentioned, you getting yourself back into kind of the rhythm of being the starter, but also continuity with your receivers. It's such a key thing. You want to get on the same page, which depth a certain guy runs, how to put, This guy might got to throw a little bit more zip on it. This guy, maybe it's a little bit take off more. How long does it take to really get on the same page with their receivers and their tendencies and more so their speed on certain routes?
Yeah, I would assume a full work week would be plenty for me with those reps of, the game plan and what you expect. Because like I said, when you get into a game and you're like, man, I haven't taken a full speed rep with any of these guys on this given play, you're kind of shooting blind there. So I think it's just a week of good work, and that's usually a thing that's changed. I've seen it around the league. You see a guy come in off the bench for a quarterback that got injured or got benched. They didn't play very well, and then the next week they get all the reps, and then they play much better. So I think that just is a testament to getting more reps with the guys and being able to rep those out. So I don't think it's very long. I think it's a full week of work. Putting on the stuff in terms of the pass game, I thought we did some really nice things in the pass game. I thought our receivers made some tremendous plays when the ball was in the air, and a lot of contested catches, some catches downfield and made guys miss. So I think we have something, like I said, at the end of that game, we have something to build off of. But when we're in such a outcome-driven sport, which professional sports is so outcome-driven, sometimes you just hang your head because you didn't win the football game, and you got to try to find the bright spots that can carry you over and create some momentum before it's too little too late. And so my message basically to the guys was, look, a third of the season's over. There's nothing we can do about that. The past is the past. We have 2/3 of our season ahead of us. Let's take it 1 week at a time, one win at a time, and see where we're at by the end of this thing, and give ourselves a chance to make a run late.
Cody, when you kind of get to know these players and receivers, specifically the receivers, like, do you get a real sense of which routes are better for certain guys at certain positions on the field?
Absolutely. And I think I've seen it from the sideline, and I'm like, okay, that's a good route for him. Okay, that's a good route for him. And I think Coach McSimic does a tremendous job of making sure we're putting the right guys on the right routes. But to actually go out there and throw it with them is a little bit different, because you can see them running the route. Oh, you're like, that's a great route. But then until you actually envision and throw it to a spot. But I think our receiving core is one that is I would say, thought about, kind of undervalued. Like we have some dudes that can do a lot of great things, and we just need to be able to stay on the field for them to showcase their talents. And that's ultimately what it is. The longer we stay on the field, the more we can showcase everybody's talents on offense. When we're off on some 2 and outs, you don't have a lot of opportunities to showcase your talents. So we got the right guys in the building, and I'll say this locker room is not shaken. Obviously, we're not where we want to be, and everybody wish we won more football games. But I think mentality-wise, we could have been in a lot worse place than we are right now as a 1-5 football team. Don't get me wrong, we're competitors and we hate losing, but I think the team knows how close we are. We just have to find a way to win those games late, in those tight games where maybe we don't have the experience of doing.
Well, and it's interesting you say that, because I go back to that Winnipeg game. I thought that was a prime example, right? I thought a team in that fourth quarter had been to 5 consecutive Grey Cup finals compared to a team that had, and it showed, at crunch time. And that's the hardest thing, to go from being an average team who loses by 2 or 3 points to the team that wins consistently. And you've been on both sides of that in your career, Cody. How do you, and you're a pretty naturally upbeat guy. So maybe, from an outsider, it seems like maybe it comes easier for you, if that's just your mindset or not. I'm not sure it's that easy, but in your previous experience, what were the things that allowed you to go from being a team who lost to then suddenly being a team who knew how to win?
I think the first thing is mentality. Like, there has to be a belief in the building that we can win those tight games. And really, the unfortunate thing about that is the only way you get that belief is by doing it. And so if you're not having a lot of success winning the games late, you don't have a lot of that belief when it gets in the fourth quarter, the game gets tight, you're down a possession, and you're like, hey, we got to have it. For me, I think that's what I can help bring to this team. I've been in a lot of tight game situations. I've been able to bring teams back in the fourth quarter with late minute heroics. And so I think their team will draw to that a little bit. And I can use that almost that positive, calming presence on the sideline to kind of help them, like, hey, look, guys, we got to find a way to get some points here, and just talk them through it. And so this team is just a couple wins away from truly finding our stride. Now, these couple wins are going to be extremely difficult. I mean, if you looked at our schedule coming off of the bye, we played Sask, who's number 1 in the West. We're playing Hamilton, who's number 1 in the East, and we're going to Montreal, number 1 in the East. So we have 3 really tough games to really use that measuring stick to see where we're at. And I think the biggest thing we took away from that Sask game was that team is a very talented team, but we took them to the wire. And so we know how close we are, and we have to just clean up some bad football and some critical moments. And when you do that, I think that's when you start winning more football games. I think we need to harp on team-wise everyone's going to make bad plays. It's the good teams make bad plays when it's not critical situations or game-defining moments. And I think a couple times in that game, including myself, I made some decisions in the game in a game-defining moment that just put our team behind the 8 ball. And so hopefully moving forward, we can talk these things out. We can continue to get some experience and reps on it and go on it with a clean mindset and excited to get back to work together.
I love that. Everybody's going to make a mistake. It's just, it's kind of the old adage. I joke with my son. Everybody's going to make mistakes. Just try to keep them 3s and 4s, not 9s and 10s. And so, when you make a mistake, a 9 and 10's at a critical moment, right? A 3 and 4, it can be the same mistake, but it's not. It's maybe it's you're on defense and it's at the the offense's 20-yard line, not your own 20-yard line.
And that's exactly right. It's like making a mistake in professional sports is going to happen. And I think guys sometimes expect perfection. And I got out of this perfection mindset a long time ago. When I was young in the league, I was trying to be perfect. And you look around and you're like, hey, nobody's perfect. It's just, when I make a mistake, it can't be at a critical moment. I need to be playing my best ball in those game defining moments. And if I'm not, we're not going to be winning very many football games. And so it's hard to pick and choose. It's not like, oh, this isn't a game-defining moment, so I'm not going to try as hard. Like, I'm trying the same as every single rep the same. I'm just more aware of when it's a critical situation and when it's not. And so I think the younger guys, the more they can experience that, the more they can see that, I think the better that we can be as a full unit. But it takes trial and error. It takes going out and giving it your all and seeing, okay, well, I took a penalty here when we could have scored points, took points off the board, we lost by 3 points. Mm-hmm. And then the big picture, it's like, okay, that one play in the second quarter that I thought wasn't much turned out to be a pretty big moment in the game. So that's where I think we can just be better, and I think we'll gel more. And we had a great exercise with Coach Killam of having guys stand up and just talk through their process of what they saw there and on plays that maybe wasn't their best of the night. And you can just hear your teammate express that. And sometimes guys just don't know any different. They stand up, they talk, and then you're kind of just, oh, hey, we're correcting you here. And it's like, okay. And when you go through that exercise where you have to stand up in front of your teammates, and it's obviously feels like everybody's pointing at you and laughing at you, but you're standing up and it's an exercise where you're like, I don't want to put myself in that situation again. So I'm going to do everything I can to make sure I'm playing clean football for this team. So I don't have to stand up in front of my team the day after the game and explain why I made this mistake in such a critical time. So that was the first time we did it after that game. And I think there was a lot of positive reaction afterwards. And there's something to be said about having to do that and getting uncomfortable and guys feeling a little bit more comfortable with that uncomfortability. So I think we're trending in the right direction. Obviously the win-loss columns is what it is. But I think this team has good energy, good juice, and we're really excited to take the field against a very good Hamilton team.
Cody, great stuff, man. We really appreciate it, and best of success. Do you love the matinee games? Are you a big fan of the 1 o'clock starts?
I do. I do. I'm an old man, so I'm usually in bed by like 9:30. So when we play those late games, I have to force myself to stay up so I don't get sleepy in the fourth quarter. Okay. But when we do have those earlier games, it feels like college. You come out, it's sunlight, and then when you're done with the game, I can call my wife and she's not sleeping, and you can kind of debrief a little bit, and hopefully be able to have some victory beers after this one on Saturday.
Awesome. Cody, thanks so much, man. We appreciate it. Best of luck on Saturday.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys for having me.
Cody Fajardo, quarterback of the Green and Gold. Really well-spoken dude, man. Like you can see why people say he just kind of has some leadership qualities. Takes onus of what his mistakes are. And I love that decision by Coach Killam. You got to get guys up and speak about what was going on. And that's how you hold accountability. I love it. don't do that for U10 and 11. It's a little bit different, right? Professional level, I think it's great. Quick break. We'll come back. 5 questions on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
McDonald's Sundays and snack-size shakes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here. My phone. I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. Our average used RV sells for around 30 grand. Some are more, some are less. And literally no one has 30 G's just sitting in their checking account.
Monthly payments are the best way to get the used RV that's right for your family.
That's right, Bob. Financing should be a stress-free process. But let me tell you a little secret. My granddaughters think I'm a model citizen. But I was young once. And if you look back into my credit history, you can see that it wasn't always excellent.
Perfect credit is nice, but not easily achievable.
You said it, Bob. But less than perfect credit is not a good reason to keep you from the great outdoors this season. I built our financing plans for the real world. And in the real world, nobody has a perfect credit score. So let's talk about how easy it is to make your favorite used RV affordable. As long as you promise not to tell Saxon and Goldie that I'm not perfect.
And that's no bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Hey everybody, it's Gene Principe, the Prince of Puns, and I've got something that definitely will float your boat. How would you like to join me and the superstars of hockey on an exotic holiday? Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from LA and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one haul of a trip. Prices start at just $23.99, and part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Call and save $200 when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. Cast Tours, 1-833-347-7678.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.452, welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely day. It is time for 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. Where saving you more, that's what they do. As, of course, the Block Party Meltdown pricing continues on for the next few days. Save up to 40% off of mattresses. You can get a 65-inch Samsung TV for only $7.99 at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1. Obviously, no moral victories for the Elks, but coming off a performance on Friday, do you have any more confidence in what they might be able to do as a group?
Well, listening to that interview from Cody Fajardo gives me a little bit more hope probably beforehand. There was parts of their game that were better. But then there was other areas that were way worse. So, like you said, man, until you do it, whatever. You know what? The Elks, I was concerned about just the lack of discipline in some of their penalties, especially at key. Like, I like what he said, at key times where you're just like, how are you taking a penalty here? Like the D lineman getting sucked in when you know Saskatchewan's coming in and they're just trying to get you to jump offside, and then Kongbo jumps offside, and you're just like, what? That can't happen. So key moments where I get you're all revved up to go, but you know what they're doing, so don't fall for it. So I don't know. Right now they find ways to lose games, so that's a concern.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say the same thing after hearing Fajardo talk. Like, oh, man, maybe I got a little bit more belief here. But no, there was encouraging signs, but you got to see it more than just one game. It's got to be a few games in a row for me to start thinking, okay, maybe this is something that they can keep going here. But hey, we'll see what happens on Saturday. Question for you here: what's the more shocking, surprising stat? And I'm going to throw another one in. The Riders doubling the Elks season sack total in one game. Riders had 8 in one game. The Elks have 4 on the season. The Elks running backs combining for 5 carries, or Jake Seresna having the only interception.
Mama. Oh, well, come on, man. 5 yards on 5 carries. It's awful. But the fact that the Elks have had, no, I'm going to go with the sack total. That's embarrassing. They double it in one game. The Elks can't even average a sack a game right now. Like, are they not on pace to have the fewest sacks in CFL history?
They must, yeah. I couldn't imagine
they
it
got
not
4.
being that way.
They're on pace for 12 sacks. I got to go back and you know what? I'll text Brian, the statistician. He'll know. I'd be very curious. What's the fewest sacks they've ever had in a season?
Yeah, I mean that one's crazy to me, but the running totals for me is just crazy. The last 2 games, like under 10 from your running backs, that's something you can control. And they weren't out of this game early on. There was no reason to just abandon the run. You have to do it. We've, kind of beaten it like a dead horse. It's just crazy to me. It benefits everyone, and they just gave up on it. To me, that's nuts. So neither of those options are good, but that's the one that surprises me the most. Question number 3 for you. Since we talked Patriots on this show, Play Alberta has their win total at 8.5. Would you be taking the over or under?
Ooh, I'm taking the under. Yeah. We had when somebody who covers the team like Christopher Price says if they can get 7, yeah, I'm taking the under.
You know what? I might lean towards the over because I just look at their schedule. Raiders, they could win. It could happen. Panthers, it could happen. You got the Saints, they should beat them. The Browns should beat them. Could they take 1 or 2 from the Jets? I think they could. Same with the Dolphins. So it'll be tough, but I think they could do it. I think Vrabel's going to have them coached. He always, takes the less talented teams and has them kind of outperform what they're able to do. So I think they could do it. But if I'm gonna say they finished right at 8 and 9 on the season. Question number 4 for you. Reports out there that Bryce Harper got into it with Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred during a meeting that he does with his teams when the salary cap was mentioned. Do you think we'll ever see a hard cap in baseball?
Oh gosh. Well, it's interesting that the players are against it. And well, no, that's not interesting. I understand why they are against it, even though there's massive disparity in baseball right now. Like there's a lot of have-nots in baseball. And, we'd have to look at, okay, how much are the Dodgers and these other teams overspending compared to teams like Pittsburgh who don't spend? What if the salary cap is blank? I don't know. I didn't know the number, 140 mil, whatever the number is. Right? How much higher than that are the Yankees and Dodgers, and how much lower are the Steelers? So does the money even out? Is it just distributed equally amongst all the teams? I'd really like to do the math on that to see what the difference is. But it would be a fight. But if the owners truly want a salary cap, they'll get a salary cap. Because guess what? You just have a holdup. That's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we're going to get to the point where there's going to be a lockout or how far this goes. I wish I could have been a fly on the wall to see this whole conversation happen. I hope so. I hope there's a little bit more balance. I wish there wasn't the issue in Major League Baseball with some of these owners being so cheap that they don't want to pay their guys. And then, you have these other teams who are just willing to take it on. The Yankees, the Mets, the Padres, those sorts of teams. I wish there was, a sweet spot in the middle. But I hope one day we can get there and just try to even it out just a little bit. A final question for you today. I looked it up. It's International Soccer Day, allegedly. So, who are your top 3 soccer players of all time?
Go ahead.
Man, I guess I have to go with the players that I've actually seen play. Love the highlights back in the day, guys like Roberto Carlos from Brazil. But I'm going to say my number 3, and this will be a homer pick for sure, Steven Gerrard. Love them with Liverpool. And the England national team, got to go Ronaldo too. Number 1. I'm not going away from Messi. He's my guy. So Messi at number 1, Ronaldo 2, and then Steven Gerrard, Stevie G.
Stevie G. Wow,
It's a bias pick for sure.
Yeah, no, that's a like. It's just who yours are, right? It's,
yeah.
Who do you have as your top 15 players of all time? For me, it would be hard to go against Pele, Messi, and I'm gonna go with oh man, what's I'm gonna go a little bit off the out of the box here, Cons, and I'm gonna go with Marco Van Basten, I should say. Right, I'm gonna go with him. So very different. Played for the Netherlands. I thought he was always a dynamic player, so I'll go with him. It's a little bit outside the box, but I just remember him as a player when I was kind of getting into more soccer as an early teen. That a lot of his highlights were the ones I saw, and he was a dynamic player.
Guy could score.
Oh, yeah. I think he won the Balloon d'Or 3-4 times. I think so.
Almost a goal per game.
Buddy.
That's wild.
Yeah.
There's some good ones out there, though.
Oh, God, yeah. Like, there's lots of other ones that you could pick for sure. And it's hard because, like, you know, obviously you pick a lot of strikers, but there's some unbelievable midfielders that controlled the game, you know, and then there's some dynamic defenders too. It's different. So, and then obviously some people say, hey, what about goalies? Now, goaltending's hard because you don't get a lot of shots, but when you do, the guys who can make the big saves, like, you know, it'd probably be a fun conversation one day to have who's the best goalie all time in soccer. Right? Like who would people who would they throw out there as you know, somebody that you thought, hey, maybe he was the best tender. Right?
Declan is whispering in my ear. Peter Schmeichel from Denmark.
Yeah, Juan Luigi Buffon would have to be one, I would think, right? And then I think he'd have to be one for sure. But yeah, there's lots. Definitely. I'd be curious who people, if you just had to pick greatest goalie of all time, it'd be pretty hard, right? Because, you know, in a weird way, sometimes you need to have to face some quality chances to show you're a great goalie, right?
Yeah.
It's the hard part about it. So, especially in soccer where there just simply isn't that many. So,
remember Oliver Kahn for Germany?
Oh, yeah.
He was a good one.
Yeah, very good. So, I like it. We get Oliver Kahn's one. Got a few others here coming in. Jay is going with Manuel Neuer for best goalkeeper. He revolutionized the sweeper keeper position. Nice. Let's get to Cons. The Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where they are hiring. Looking for a great company where you're going to get a hiring bonus. You also have RSP matching, tuition reimbursement, and a very, very competitive wage. Go to legacyheating.ca. Apply today.
Busy night in the majors. 15 games on the schedule right now out in Baltimore. Jays and Orioles scoreless. Later on tonight, you have the Rays taking on the Yankees. Dodgers in Cincinnati. Royals host the Braves. Red Sox taking on the Twins. Cubbies and Brewers. Angels host the Rangers. Mets in San Diego. And the Mariners heading to Sacramento, taking on the Athletics in the WNBA tonight. 2 games on the schedule. Sun taking on the Storm at 5. Then at 6, you got the Liberty in Arlington for a matchup with the Wings. Canada's Summer McIntosh won her second gold medal at the World Swimming Championships, taking the 200-meter individual medley on Monday, finishing 2 seconds ahead of American Alex Walsh, who claimed silver. Fellow Canadian Mary Sophie Harvey winning the bronze. And from the NFL, Denver Broncos and wideout Cortland Sutton reaching terms on a new contract, 4 years, $92 million, with $41 million guaranteed. Sutton appeared in every game last season for the Broncos, starting 13, catching on 81 passes for 1,000 yards and 8 scores. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Reports suggest the Canadian taste buds are bored to tears.
My mouth can't handle another dull drink.
Summertime smoothie experts everywhere are recommending a watermelon wake-up from Booster Juice.
It's so smooth, cool, and refreshing.
And ridiculously delicious. Enjoy the Watermelon Wave and Watermelon Explosion smoothies, available all summer long at a Booster Juice near you. Stay cool, Canada.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
It's the Bricks Price Meltdown. Score hot summer savings like up to 40% off mattresses and a 10% instant credit towards sleep accessories. Save up to $900 off sofas and sectionals, and up to 25% off bedroom and dining packages. Plus, buy more, save more on select major kitchen appliances, up to $500 off. Even more, find hot prices on Canadian-made pieces and get up to 15% off patio furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Edmonton Elks salute the service, presented by James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. August 2nd, 1300 hours. EE battles the Ticats. Catch the Royal Canadian Air Force pregame flyover, the Salute the Service flag football tournament, and more. Tickets start at just $20 at goelks.com.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. Our average used RV sells for around 30 grand. Some are more, some are less. And literally no one has 30 G's just sitting in their checking account.
Monthly payments are the best way to get the used RV that's right for your family.
That's right, Bob. Financing should be a stress-free process. But let me tell you a little secret. My granddaughters think I'm a model citizen when I was young once. And if you look back into my credit history, you can see that it wasn't always excellent.
Perfect credit is nice, but not easily achievable.
You said it, Bob, but less than perfect credit is not a good reason to keep you from the great outdoors this season. I built our financing plans for the real world. And in the real world, nobody has a perfect credit score. So let's talk about how easy it is to make your favorite used RV affordable. As long as you promise not to tell Saxon and Goldie that I'm not perfect.
NoBullRV.ca.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation, 2 weekly podcasts with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger, breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth EE football coverage on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Late. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. And as the Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the lovely province of PlayAlberta.ca. And you might have to be getting on the Jays making a comeback as give a back-to-back Jacks early in that game against Baltimore. It's time now for The Spector Report brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. They're the unheralded important workers in the construction area. It's gsconstruction.ca's Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Joins us, Spec. Good afternoon. How you doing?
Doing great, Jay. What's going on? Back-to-back jacks. That was Dutchie's favorite saying, wasn't it?
Oh, he had a few of them, yes. He had some classics. So, man, you could time that one with a sundial. God, he had a few beauties. We go back in time to his sports night days, man. They were epic. So he really kind of changed a little bit in Canada, really, how they called highlights in hockey. Or not hockey, in sports.
Oh, for sure, man. Dutchie was one of a kind. And just another of it's been a disproportionate amount of national guys, that started out and came through Edmonton, right? He's just one of them. He was here. I remember, those were the days when you waited till 11 o'clock to watch the highlight show so you could see what the heck happened that night. It's not like now where the highlight show starts at about 8 and it just keeps going. So Dutchie was must-watch TV back in the day, boy. Channel 8 here in ITV, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was great. Now, Spec, as a baseball guy, I want to start with there. On Friday night,
yes,
Nick Kurtz became the first player in MLB history to have a game where he had 4 home runs, 5 extra base hits, 6+ total hits, and 8 RBIs. First guy ever, and he was a rookie.
And all his folks were in the stands too, eh?
Yeah.
Aunt and uncle and all the cousins, and I guess there's a whole bunch of people there. Hey, man, like I always say this, when you break a record in baseball, like we go back to the year 1900 for baseball records. So it's a real record. When you set a record in the major leagues of baseball, you're doing something because there's not many records left to set. And what a night, eh? 6 for 6, 5 extra base. Holy man, 4 home runs. Like, talk about out of your mind baseball.
Oh, God. Yeah. Like when you think like for one night, and the thing was, he had 4 home runs. His double was about almost off the top of the wall. Like it came very close to being the first guy with 5 home runs in a game, which would have been absolutely wild, right? Like and for him being a rookie, that's what's so impressive about this guy. Like he is, the Athletics, they don't even have a home right now, right? It doesn't even look like they have a home state. They're just called the Athletics. They're not Oakland anymore. They're the Athletics because they're not Vegas. They're not Oakland. They're not Sacramento. It's kind of odd, but man, like what he's doing is pretty damn impressive.
Oh, for sure. Hey, listen, that's the beauty of sports. You never know when you're going to see something you're never going to forget. Like who was watching that game, right? Barely anybody probably. If you did, you were rewarded. It's kind of like it's like I'm watching the BC Lions play last night. I wouldn't watch the whole game. I think that pick that DB made, that might be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've watched my share of football. I'm not sure I've ever seen a better catch than that in my life. And it wasn't even a receiver. It was a DB.
Yeah. So no, that's is remarkable, really, what he did. So
that's why we love sports, man.
But that game, Spec, that's that's the game of the year for me in the CFL. I watched that it was unreal. Like that game had everything. You mentioned like unbelievable interception. They had big plays all over the field. There wasn't a lot of mistakes. I just thought there was a lot of good plays being made, which makes, to me, that's what I want to watch in sports. I just want to see good plays being made.
Oh yeah, both teams in the mid-30s in points. A late drive in the CFL. That CFL clock, it seems to never run out, right? That I thought. I watched the end. I thought BC's defense went into that sort of prevent umbrella thing probably too soon. I'm not sure why any CFL defenses do that. There's just so much time on the clock and such a big field that guys just go underneath and make big yardage quick. Anyway, look at Hamilton. Look at Bo Levi Mitchell, man. He's still doing it after all these years.
Oh, God, yeah. It's what is he, top 10 now, I think, in passing yards all time in CFL. Pretty impressive. Meanwhile, the Elks, we just had Cody Fajardo on earlier. An unbelievable interview with Cody. I loved his honesty. kind of his outlook on where he sees the teams at, where his own play is. He said the first half was kind of tough for him. He hadn't really played a meaningful game since the playoffs last year. So it took him a while in his line to get his sea legs under him. He said the third quarter was awful. Started by himself. He goes, they had the ball at midfield and they're 2-out. Terrible decision by him. These are his words, not mine. And then he felt like they kind of woke up and came together, had some chemistry in the fourth quarter. He says, yeah, too little, too late, but we have to find that game right from the start. But he talked about, Spec, how Mark Killam introduced something where, you know what, he wants guys to take accountability for their play. And you know what, have to go up, talk in front of your teammates about when you made the wrong play at the wrong time. Because he said everybody makes mistakes, but there's mistakes at critical moments that cost you games, whereas there are mistakes at other parts of the game that don't cost you. And you've got to find a way to know when you make mistakes, they're not going to be at the critical juncture. And right now, this team makes too many mistakes at critical moments.
Oh, particularly on the penalty front.
Oh, right? Yeah.
There was that third down play where you felt like the Riders weren't even going to run a play. They were just hoping to draw offside, and one of the Elks went offside. That's you're describing that play. That's the play you're talking about, right? Just a critical offside. Yeah, make lots of special teams, no yards. I mean, unless that ball's bouncing backwards at you, no yards is very controllable. You shouldn't be committing no yards infractions as often as the Elks do. That's sloppy play. I'm not an offensive line expert, but I would suggest to you the offensive line play wasn't good. And I would also say the running backs didn't do a very good job of picking anybody up that came through. Fajardo was running for his life all night.
Oh God. Yeah. No.
All night long. So I'm sure a coaching staff could find a ton of mistakes in there on watching the video the next day that I didn't see in live. So listen, if you're telling me that the head coach has had everybody stand up and talk about the critical mistake they made in that Regina game, I'm telling you that must have been one hell of a long grievance session, because there's a lot of guys that made a lot of mistakes in that game.
Oh yeah. It wouldn't it wouldn't have just been easy, that's for sure. But I like it. What do you make of the O-line? How concerned are you about the O-line? Because man, they like the Riders. Well, we can it's kind of a two-part question. Elks O-line struggled. Defensively, they've got 4 sacks all year. The Riders doubled the Elks season sack total in one game.
I don't love that. They're two completely different places. I thought the O-line hasn't been bad this year. I think you put them in a tough spot when you run the ball 5 times or whatever they ran it. Right? I think that I think that you have to, listen, there's always going to be games. Maybe you're missing a guy. Maybe the other team's got a really good scheme. Maybe there's a bit of a mismatch. There's an answer to every problem. If your O-line is pass blocking and the other guys can't get pressure, we'll pass all night, right? And if they're run blocking and the other guys can't stop the run, we'll run all night. But if you're in a situation where they can't pass block, you can't keep passing every single play. I thought their offensive play calling didn't move off of the pocket situation. They had to protect Fajardo in the pocket all night. They clearly couldn't do it, and he's running for his life. Where's a screen pass? Where's a draw play, right? Like, where's something to slow down that pass rush? They just pin their ears back all night. And I thought that, I guess it's the OC, right? Is that not Jordan Maximek? Isn't that his duty to call that play? I thought he didn't change up his play. He's like, give me a screen pass, man. Do something. So I don't love the play calling I've seen this year. And I'm not saying I want more of this, I want more of that. What I haven't seen is reactions. They're not rolling Trey Ford out when he's in trouble in the pocket. They're just keeping him in the pocket. They didn't use the running game in Regina when Fajardo clearly wasn't getting protected. Like, I think they got to think on their feet a little bit better. Is that fair to ask for that, Jay?
Oh, 100%. I think it's totally valid. Yes. That's what they got to be better in a lot of fronts. Like, their special teams had actually been pretty good until that game. That's, to me, what's the concern. And that shows you, like, bad teams find different ways to lose. And all the Friday night game illustrated to me was, hey, could Trey Ford have played better in other games? Sure. But people that thought that the quarterback was the main reason why this team was losing, like, no, it wasn't. And that was illustrated in this game for sure. Now, one team spec where, man, it's hard to find anything wrong with them. The Toronto Blue Jays, the best team in baseball for the last 2 months since May 27th. No team's been better. And they keep hitting, like Scherzer yesterday, I thought in his 7 innings was outstanding. He had the one kind of bad pitch that he won back that went for the 3-run home run. But, man, he mowed down 11 guys. He's 41 years of age, for goodness sakes. He's striking them out all over the place. The Jays, they can hit like no one else. But the one area, their bullpen. It's the one area I look at, like, Chad Green's been getting lit up like a Christmas tree here lately. The Jays just hit back-to-back jacks here to tie the game. Like, offensively, man, they can hit with anybody. And Vladdy's starting to hit. That's 2 home runs now in 3 games for him. Hitting the long ball. He's been hitting, like, for average and everywhere else. But, the Jays here, we have until Thursday. How many relievers do you think they actually get?
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on the market. I'm laughing because just as you said, they keep on hitting. Dan Schulman said, that's a back-to-back homer for Guerrero. At exactly the same time, I got the TV on at the lake. So you're right. They keep hitting. To me, it's the market. Like, what's out there for you is, you might have to, like, let's say you're looking for an 8th inning guy, a setup guy for Hoffman, right? I think they're pretty happy with Hoffman. Now, maybe there's a closer out there that you can find. And maybe you say, you know what? Some days this new closer we're going to acquire is going to pitch the 8th inning. And maybe some days Hoffman's going to pitch the 8th inning. Let's see what happens. Maybe you add a sort of second closer and you get a little bit of innovative with how you use your guys. Do they need another starter? They don't need another starter. But what if you found one that was really awesome? What if the market opened up and there's a guy there, you thought, holy man, could we take this starter? So, I'm not so well versed in the Major League Baseball trade. I'm not Shy Davidi here. I don't have 10 names for you guys to pick from, but I don't think it's any different than any trade deadline, Jay. As much as it is about what you want and what you're shopping for, it's about what's available. And, listen, there's a ton of relievers. If it's relievers you're looking for, you're going to find them. They're going to get a couple guys. The only conversation here is, what role, how high quality, and what do you have to give up? Are you giving up a top prospect for a late, for an 8th inning setup? Man, I don't think you should have to do that, should you? So, they'll scratch that itch, man. They'll scratch that itch. There's lots of guys, and there's a ton of teams that are out of this thing. So I'm looking forward to it. It's got to happen soon. When's the deadline? It's tomorrow?
No. It's Thursday.
Thursday, I should say. Yes. Tomorrow is some kind of a roster day, though. They got to move players around a little bit. So anyway, they'll get the job done. I'm not telling you I've always had total faith in this Blue Jays management, and I'm a guy that's been behind them since the start, because I haven't. But the order to be filled by Thursday, it's not that tall. They'll find a couple of relievers, no problem.
Yeah, maybe another starting pitcher even. Sure. We'll see, but
it's not like Stan Bowman looking for a number 1 goalie where you go through the whole market and the guy's just not there. You're looking for pitching. It's there. It's just a matter of what you want to pay for it.
Yeah. Well, it's true, but the thing about the Jays is, and we've had a few baseball experts who know the farm systems way better than I do,
and me.
They said the challenge for the Jays is that, that there's a lot of teams that feel that they're in it right now. And lots of teams, they're always like, what are the obvious things teams look for? They want bullpen help, right? And so there's already been a few bullpen guys traded. And it says the Jays prospects pool isn't as hot, isn't as deep or as good as a lot of these other teams. And so that might, they might want a guy.
Yep.
Like they might have to settle for maybe the 3rd or 4th best option because they don't have the assets to get the best guy.
Yep, that's just reality. If you don't have the poker chips, you can only bet so high, right?
Yeah, no. And I'm fascinated to see how the Jays do. Obviously, right now, they're one of the best teams, if not the best team in baseball. Well, they've been the best team for the last 2 months, so it's hard to argue with that. And, now the Aaron Judge injury makes you go, the fact that the Dodgers, like, they can hit the ball to save, like, better than maybe anybody. But, God, their pitching's terrible right now. It's banged up. And, like, I was looking at how many runs the Dodgers have allowed this year. Like, they're giving up a ton. So they've got, I don't know how deep their prospect pool is either, but, can they continue to spend? Which leads me to the question. Did you read the article about Bryce Harper getting into it, Manfred, we'll never have a salary cap. Like, do you think baseball, like if the owners want a salary cap spec, they'll get a salary cap. But just history shows me that.
Well, history tells us that I think I agree with you, but it's more complex than just saying it. It would involve missing a year of baseball, right? This baseball union, it would take it just the way it did for hockey. It took a missed season of hockey to end up with a salary cap, right? In 94 or 2004, I always mix that up. 2004. So is everyone willing to miss an entire season of baseball?
Well, you never know, but like
that's a travesty to me.
History will tell me that I agree with you, but if the fact that it's out there spec means if the owners want it, then they'll get it.
Well,
right? History shows us that, because who has the deeper pockets to handle? Like, look, I've talked to so many NHL players. They held out for a year, and what did they gain? Nothing. Right? They got the salary cap. They eventually folded. So what do they lose? They lose the whole year pay that they'll never get back. And the owner's like, nah, we got billions. Like, it's billionaires against millionaires.
It is. I'm not arguing with you. The owners win, but the cost is if the cost for hockey was an entire season. And I think what we've also realized in hockey, Jay, is, every guy in the league lost a year's salary. But the guys, now that we're into a salary cap, the guys that make all the money are the top 10%. And the bottom 90% are generally, they're fighting over whatever on the Oilers roster, the Janmarks are fighting over whatever's left after Bouchard and Draisaitl and McDavid sign, right? Everyone else is fighting over what's left. And I'm sure it would be that way in baseball. The big boys get paid first and whatever's left goes to the rest. But again, man, a whole season off, I don't know.
Spec, I'm not sold on that. Go back and look at what the highest paid guy was getting paid in 1998 and 99, and then look at it now.
Wow.
It's the middle guys that are going up. Look at Dylan Sandberg, for instance. Dylan Sandberg just filed for arbitration today. Well, they're going to arbitration. He's looking at $6 million, and the Jets have countered with 2.5. And if you look at Dylan Sandberg's numbers, when you look at played the most minutes, 5-on-5 for them on defense, he doesn't put up a lot of points, but he plays a lot of minutes. And Cernak got 5.2 back in 2022 as a defensive defenseman. Now Dylan Sandberg, who's 6'4", 220 pounds, skates very well. He's probably going to get $6 million because a lot of the superstars in hockey have taken, like, outside of McDavid, right? Like Draisaitl had signed before. Okay, Mitch Marner signed, but he was already making, $11 million and jumped up $1 million to 12. He didn't take much more. It's really the middle tier guys are getting it now. Now maybe baseball will, they got guys who maybe will have it staggered. But if I look at the NHL, the top end guys really haven't seen an increase in their salary compared to what the middle tier guys have. If you go back and look from 2000 until now,
I don't know, maybe. I mean, Draisaitl made 8.5 back then. Now he's making 14.5. That's about an 80%.
Yeah, but it's not 80%. But if you look at you look at a guy like him, though, many would say he was underpaid because he turned in to be a better player than he was, right? Because it's like Nathan McKinnon. You don't ever want to be the best value contract in the NHL.
You never want to be Mark Scheifele.
But for every Draisaitl who got a raise, and he deserves his raise. But you look at, so he's one or two guys, but the other guys like Mitch Marner he got basically the same money, right? Like he went up $1 million, even though from when he signed his last contract, Spec, look at what the salary cap was. Now look at what the salary cap is. And he only went up $1 million. Salary cap's gone up, 15 mil since he signed his first deal 7 years ago. So maybe even more, and what it's going to go up. So you watch here. It's going to be the middle of the road guys in the next few years who are all going to get significantly more than they used to.
Mm-hmm. Well, the $5 to $7 million guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's fair. And then there'll still be the bottom of your roster, your bottom 4 or 5 forwards and your bottom 2 defensemen, and they're all going to make $1 million because everyone else eats up all the money. And Bob's your uncle, man. I'd play hockey for $1 million. I don't know about you.
Well, it's like a lot of people would, no question. So if I ask you today, Major League Baseball within the next 4 years, how's the salary cap? Yes or no?
Nope. I say no.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. We shall see. But it's the fact that it came there and you got a player getting right into it, the commissioner, the gloves are starting to come off.
Yeah, that's fair too. But that's, hockey is once you give them a cap, you never get it back. And I just don't see it in baseball. There's too much money in the industry. Taking a year off of baseball would be catastrophic. It would cost a lot of money. And I just don't see it. Let's see if I'm wrong. I don't see it in baseball, in that industry. Do not see it. No.
All right. Spec, have a great day. And we will chat with you at the minute.
Thanks, Jake.
That's the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you. We'll come back. We got a little hockey talk to get to, some more football and baseball on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Some jobs are easy, and some jobs are not. When the going gets tough and the job is tough, GS Construction hires good people to get the job done right. So, if you know it takes teamwork, grit, and the utmost care to work underground, you just might be who we're looking for. Right now, GS Construction is hiring experienced foremen to join our crew. Apply today at gsconstruction.ca. And remember, from the first manhole to the final tie-in, we've got your back. GS Construction. Tough jobs, good people.
McDonald's Sundays and snack-size shakes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here. My phone. I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 EEE. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair. They'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvanceelliott.com today, because it's time to be the man you remember.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Alberta GMC dealers. Employee pricing is on now at GMC. Get up to $12,000 off a 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Denali Ultimate only at gmccanada.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.532. Gregor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. The Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game, your one-stop shop. Casino, sports, lottery, instance. You win, good for you. You lose, it stays in Alberta. So it's a win-win at PlayAlberta.ca. Lots of offense early on. We're only in the third inning. There's already 8 runs between the Jays and the Orioles. So might be a last big swing. Get you the win tonight. We'll see. Bassett hasn't gotten lit up like this in a while, but so far getting lit up early on. Lots of text to get to. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We should mention as Canadian tennis fans, did you see back on track at the as Leila Fernandez wins this past weekend? That was huge for her to kind of bounce back. She's obviously been battling some nagging injuries, but man, like, she is gutsy when she's on the court, and that is that's great to see for her. She kind of dominated in the final 6-1, 6-2. On the other side of tennis for Canadians, Pospisil had his career. We all knew this was going to be his final tournament playing in Canada, and unfortunately, injury forced him out. And not the best way to go out, but it's rare to have the Cinderella exit in your career, where you just get to go on your own terms and everything's great. I don't think people expected him to win the tournament by any stretch of the imagination, but you didn't want him to get injured in his final match, and that be the reason that he gets knocked out. So I don't know, Cons, if you've been following Layla or not, but that's a huge win for her. And man, like, she had a stretch there where she was really competitive and then just battled injuries. And if she can overcome the injury bug, she could get back to being somebody to watch for on the tennis tour.
Yeah, I mean, I think was the U.S. Open 2021 where we all kind of were like, holy cow, she's got this. When she's on, she made it to the final, didn't end up winning. But yeah, if she can get that confidence, and I think in a sport like tennis, any individual sport, it's so much about confidence and, knowing that you can play with the best of the best. So yeah, was following along with her. That was awesome to see.
Yeah, and speaking of Canadians to watch for, Summer McIntosh, if you haven't heard of her, which as a sports fan, it would be hard to not know who Summer McIntosh is at that point. She is she's right now on track to be the greatest swimmer we've ever seen as a Canadian. So she wanted to get 5 gold medals at the World Aquatic Championships going on in Singapore right now, and she's already 2 for 2 as she just won her second. And I love what the fact. So I don't know if you saw Cons in her interview with Devin Aru. She was talking about it, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with setting goals. And her goal was to get the 5 gold medals. And so she painted her fingernails so they're red and gold. And so on one hand there's 3 golds and 2 reds, and on the other hand there's 3 reds and 2 golds. So obviously the goal is, so you look at it every day. That's my goal. And like, you know what? Like, these are the best swimmers. And she's there. She's 18 years of age. And, is she dominant right now? Like, she is fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, that's that visualization we talk about, right? And getting it into having that mindset. She's obviously already got the champion's mindset. She went into these past Olympic Games with the pressure, everybody expecting her to win, and she did not disappoint. So now it's just kind of keeping it going for her. But yeah, had been following that along as well. And it's too bad because it's one of those, like, she might be one of the best athletes in our country right now as a Canadian. And we only kind of hear about her in the mainstream, maybe once every 4 years, but she's going to continue to tear it up at these like annual events.
Wow. The Canadian Championship sets tons of records. Like, she won the women's 200 meter individual medley by almost 2 seconds. Right. She finished in 2 minutes, 6 seconds, 0.69. Second place, Alex Walsh was 208.58.
Yeah.
Like, that's not like, that's a dominant win, right? Like, dominant. So you don't see those things very often where you have an athlete who just outperformed. Like, when it's the best of the best, like, winning by 2 seconds is a lot, right? And against like average smucks, but when you're beating the best of the best by that is pretty impressive. Like, even in her first race, she beat Katie Ledecky. Now, I know Katie's a little bit older now, but she kind of made that one look rather easy as well. So in the 400 meter women's, because she won by, again, almost 2 seconds. It was 5/100ths of a second away from being a 2-second lead, right? She beat Katie Ledecky by almost 2.5 seconds. Like, so basically both her wins, both her gold medals have come by almost 2 full seconds each in each one. So that's what makes it so impressive to me.
Yeah, and shout out to Mary Sophie Harvey as well, picking up the bronze.
Yeah.
2 out of 3, not bad.
Yeah. So, hey, Greg, speaking of tennis, Jeannie Bouchard's on court now, potentially for the last time. Yeah, that's right. She's also going to retire. So, tennis fans, be a little bit of a change of the guard, although, Jeannie hasn't really been at the top in quite some time, but she come back and you get to finish it out in your home country. Nothing wrong with that. So, they'll turn it over. And we did have the one Canadian whose name escapes me right now. I got to find it, but he came in, he got the invite to this tournament and was like 686th ranked in the world and won his first match, beating a guy who's ranked like 500 spots ahead of him. So it's always good. Always good. So,
Is that Nicholas Arsenault?
yes, Nick Arsenault. Yeah. So I think he's ranked 686 or 668, one of the two. So it's pretty good. There's lots of, I love tennis. It's a sport I have the ultimate respect for, just because it's one where you can, you got to have so many good athletic attributes. That's what I like about it. Hey, Greggs, I'm curious what your thoughts are. I know I'm only asking this question today because they have the camp going on tonight, the red and white match. What do you think of Canada's chances of the upcoming World Junior Championships? I think they're going to win. Well, I think the good news for Canada is that a lot of their best players are going to be in the tournament, right? Like, I know last year everyone's like, oh, yeah, U.S. is taking over. I'm like, Canada's 3 best forwards weren't in the tournament because they were playing in the NHL. And that wasn't the case for the U.S. team. So that's why I never get too wrapped up in if you win the World Juniors, if you lose it, it's nice, but it's rarely always the best of the best. Because if you would have had those 3 Canadian, like if Macklin Celebrini's in that tournament, how much better is Canada? If Connor Bedard's in that tournament, how much better is Canada? Right? They were eligible. Zach Benson, they were eligible. Think about that. They would have been their 3 best forwards. You don't think that makes a difference? Of course it does. So I don't put huge stock in the World Juniors, but I will say for Canada, the fact that McKenna's can't play in the NHL this year, right? I don't think Schaefer's going to jump directly to the NHL. I guess it's possible. I don't think it would be the right decision for him, to be honest. For me, like, the guy only played 17 games last year. He needs some more ice time. He needs to dominate and play a lot. So I think Canada could have a lot of their best guys there. So I think they'll be pretty good. Very good. So we'll come back. We'll get to the oil report and lots more text to wrap up busy Monday edition of the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
On the rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave you with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party, you're on the rocks.
On the rocks.
Jeff Brab and 118th.
It's the Bricks Price Meltdown. Score hot summer savings, like up to 40% off mattresses and a 10% instant credit towards sleep accessories. Save up to $900 off sofas and sectionals, and up to 25% off bedroom and dining packages. Plus, buy more, save more on select kitchen appliances, up to $500 off. Even more, find hot prices on Canadian-made pieces and get up to 15% off patio furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
The Hoop City 3x3 Festival takes over the Ice Palace at West Edmonton Mall from July 31st to August 3rd. See professionals and Olympians battle for ranking points and cash prizes in 3 different FIBA 3x3 events. Free admission. Details at sports1440.ca.
Reports suggest that Canadian taste buds are bored to tears.
My mouth can't handle another dull drink.
Summertime smoothie experts everywhere are recommending a watermelon wake-up from Booster Juice.
It's so smooth, cool, and refreshing.
And ridiculously delicious. Enjoy the Watermelon Wave and Watermelon Explosion smoothies, available all summer long at a Booster Juice near you. Stay cool, Canada.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Edmonton Elks salute the service, presented by James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. August 2nd, 1300 hours. EE battles the Ticats. Catch the Royal Canadian Air Force pregame flyover, the Salute the Service flag football tournament, and more. Tickets start at just $20 at GoElks.com.
Keeping your grass looking trimmed and beautiful all summer is a breeze with Toro in the Lawnmower Hospital. Head in and see a wide variety of residential walk-behind gas and battery mowers with personal pace, easy starting, and with Smart Stow, saving up to 70% more room when storing. For bigger properties, try the Toro Titan with My Ride suspension. Financing available. See lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital. Your Edmonton Riverhawks hosts Sitcom Night. Tomorrow night at 7, the Prince of Puns, Gene Principe, hosts a celebration of classic sitcoms with wacky contests throughout the game.
Get your tickets today to watch the Hawks play at GoHawks.ca.
Not really. Oh, I watched Happy Gilmore too. Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Jump on OTR's party shuttle buses to Elks games, Riverhawks games, and concerts at Commonwealth. To see all upcoming events, check out ontherocks.yeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5.40. We return. Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. And the Jays are going to have to come from behind again as Bassett getting pounded around. He's out of the game, not even getting through 3 full innings tonight. So a rare, real terrible start for him. And so the Jays bats, which have been pretty good, are going to have to maybe come and save them again. But there's a lot of times only the 4th inning for the Jays, which is so they got 2/3 of the game left. They'll still be more than fine. Now the big thing when we talked about this, hey Greggs, I'm curious, did you watch Happy Gilmore 2? Yeah, I know you guys had the actor on your show on Friday. What did you think? From Dan. I did not. I actually I watched Happy Gilmore 1 with my son, and you know what? I hadn't seen it in a long time. You know what's funny? It was okay. It wasn't as good as I remembered the first time. Cons, did you watch Happy Gilmore 2?
We did, yes. Yeah, it took us like 4 hours. Little guy who kept waking up, so we had to pause it a couple times. But I think you might be okay if you were to just stop it there, Gregor. The second one, you'd have to watch it with very low expectations. I would watch it, though. I'd recommend checking it out. There is a point in the movie where it gets a little bit ridiculous and kind of jumps the shark, and it kind of lost me, but there were some nice, mentions of the first movie, some good callbacks, some great cameos.
That's what a lot of people are saying. Like if you go in not expecting it to be like a,
the first one.
Yeah, like well, even the first one though. Like the first one when I watched it again, it was like there were some funny lines of Shooter and stuff, but there was lots of other parts where I just thought like the snap shows all the time became a little annoying. I actually found I was just like, wow, I found this funny. It was kind of annoying.
Yeah, and that kind of carries into this one too. There's points where it's like, yeah, did you need to do that? It feels like as of late, the Sandler movies, some of the acting is a little overacted. Like it's just they're trying too hard to be funny when it could be a little more subtle.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? He takes care of his crew. He has all his buddies in the movies and keeps them getting paid. So good on him for that. But it's not timeless. I don't think you'll be watching it more than once.
Okay. I like, I'd say, hey, you go in knowing what it is. It's entertainment. I'm not expecting every movie to move me emotionally or anything. And it's just one where you can say, yeah, you know what? It'll give me a few laughs. And that's really it. Is that fair?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. A light watch. And I would say, like anyone who's seen the first one and maybe was a little bit intrigued by it, definitely go watch it. But like you said, just temper the expectations.
What was the not who's their favorite cameo, but which one did you think was the best acted cameo?
I will say randomly seeing Eminem in there was good.
Okay.
But I think that Scotty Scheffler might have his delivery was good.
Oh, so he's as good of an actor as is a golfer, man.
Yeah, they poke some fun at an incident that involved him.
Oh, and, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
he's got some good deliveries.
Okay, yeah. I could see him making fun of that now.
Yeah.
Right? Especially after you heard that there was somewhat of a police officer who might have not told the full truth, as we learned later on. So never a good thing, especially nowadays when everything seems to be videoed. Like if it's rare to be able to get away with something blatant that didn't happen and claim that it happened, right? It's kind of you're like, dude, are you sure? Are you sure that really happened? Is that how it happened? I don't know. But so yeah, I will say, I've gotten into Department Q, the show on Netflix. Man, it's been awesome. I quite like it. It's British crime thriller, and there's just something about like the language that they use as the Brits. I find is It's just how they use their like certain adjectives and how they're descriptive on things. I'm like, I think I'd like to start to put that into our delivery a little bit more. I don't know why. It just seems a little classier. It's a little nicer. I like it. So, hey, Cons, really good description. 74 total cameos. Crazy work. 74.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like,
wow.
It's like Kelsey Plum, a WNBA player, pops up randomly. Travis Kelce. I think like Adam Sandler gets his kids involved like that. Musician Kid Cudi is in it for a little bit.
So, but would I know all of them? Not everybody's going to know all the cameos, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
And like they do, like they kind of make it modern because they have, popular podcast hosts reacting to things. So Bobby Lee and Cameron, the rapper, like those guys just pop up randomly, like kind of commentating on what's happening.
Okay.
So I think that probably adds to the total. But yeah, there's a few where you'll probably like think, oh yeah, who's that guy? Like I know him from somewhere.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there you have it. So let's get to the oral report brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton, where right now they got a few days left in the Discover Days sales event. If you're looking for a great vehicle, no better place to go than Volvo Cars Edmonton. Volvo XC90, XC60, and XC40s. You can get any one of them right now. You can lease or finance from 1.49%. Well, actually as low as 0.49% on the 40s, and save anywhere from $3,000 up to $7,500 on the XC90 plug-in hybrids. The oil report really can come down to two questions. Hey guys, I saw over the weekend talk about the orders. I did not know Stuart Skinner was entering the final year of his contract. Do you think he would sign an extension before the season, or will both sides want to wait? Oh, I think both sides are waiting. I would be surprised. I think Stuart Skinner is going to look, and first of all, there's 22 goalies currently in the NHL active, because I'm not including Carey Price. 22 playing goalies who make $5+ million. Stuart Skinner, I know people will look at certain numbers and they don't love him, and that's fine, right? There are certain numbers that definitely aren't glowing. However, there's lots of other numbers that are pretty good. And I think really it's if I'm Stan Bowman, I'm like, I just hired a new goalie coach. I want to give the goalie coach an opportunity to work with the goalie and say, okay, because I hired the goalie coach because obviously I believe in what his philosophy is on goaltending and how it's going to work. And so they can say, hey, does Stu Skinner fit into what we believe and what are the strengths we're looking for in a goalie? Because despite what some people believe, there are many positive attributes in Stuart Skinner's game, right? You don't get this back-to-back Stanley Cup finals with him being terrible, despite everybody thinking that. It's not really the case. But I think the Oilers have a chance to and they just got robbed by a home run. Oh, what a play. Anyway, the Oilers have a chance here for Stuart Skinner. I think people forget in his first year under Chris Knobloch, Stuart Skinner was a top 10 goalie in every category. Right? Save percentage, goals against average, saves above expected. Right? He was good. It was really good. So, you know what? Just like some players in other positions, hey, he didn't have the best regular season. That's fair. I don't think Stuart Skinner, and this is the easiest way for me to put it. So the series is 2-2, Florida and Edmonton. I don't think Skinner had lost in the games they lost in those two. I don't necessarily believe he won them in the games they won. He was okay. Then you get to games 5 and 6 this year. The Oilers gave up 23 high danger chances, and they only had 8 of their own. I don't really believe you can blame the goalie for those 2 losses when you're giving up 3 times as many high danger chances as the other team. You're not generating enough. You're giving up too much. So, Stuart Skinner against Vegas and Dallas, when they dominated, he was really good. Really good. So he's got potential. And, you get a new voice, you get a new goalie coach. We'll see what happens. But I think both sides will play it out. The Oilers are kind of, hey, let's see what we got here. And Stuart Skinner's probably the same way. So, because right now, coming off the year he had, and that's why a lot of contract negotiation comes down to timing. If you have a great year and you're a free agent, well, guess what? You're going to get paid more than maybe you should. So it's good timing. So I think Skinner will look to say, hey, I want to have a good year. And he's going to get a big raise. No question about it. And so that's why the Oilers say you want to try to capitalize on it. $2.6 million. It's a really good cap bid for a guy who's a starting goaltender. On behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Cougar, I'm Jason Gregor. Have yourselves a lovely Monday evening. We'll return to more. Lots of our regular guests. We'll get into some theme talk. We'll talk more on the Elks. And I'm really looking forward to a Wednesday show as well, where we're going to, for sports fans, here's an opportunity for you, a little bit of a sports hack in a sport that I think many of you be like, I want to try that. We'll get to all that and more. But first, here's a Conman Sports 1440 update brought to you by eWell, your partner in power since 1975. For all your electrical gear, there's only one place to go, ewel.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
15 games on the schedule tonight in the majors right now. Jays trail the Orioles 6-4 in the bottom of the fourth. Elsewhere, Tigers have a 4-0 lead over the Diamondbacks in the fifth. Rays and Yankees tied at 2 apiece. Dodgers and Reds tied at 1. And the Braves and Royals scoreless. We got rain in Cleveland right now. Guardians and Rockies delayed in the top of the first. Later tonight, Nationals taking on the Astros. Angels meet the Rays. Mets in San Diego, and the Athletics hosting the Seattle Mariners. 2 games in the WNBA, one underway right now. Storm lead the Sun 55-43 with 59 seconds left in the second. And at 6 o'clock, the Wings taking on the Liberty. Canadian swimmer Summer McIntosh won her second gold medal at the World Swimming Championships, taking the 200-meter individual medley on Monday. The 18-year-old finished in 2 minutes, 6 seconds, nearly 2 seconds ahead of American Alex Walsh, who claimed silver. Fellow Canadian Mary Sophie Harvey winning the bronze. And from the NFL, Denver Broncos and wide receiver Cortland Sutton agreeing to a 4-year, $92 million extension with $41 million guaranteed. Sutton appeared in every game last season, starting in 13, catching 81 passes for 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, we've got Fox Sports Radio all night long. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. on the Kevin Carius Show. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Yes, it's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR